considering that he's sponsored by him. Well, I think it'd be just kind of hard for us to use headset mics with two of us. So we've got actually 6 mics plugged in. We've got 2 that we're back there for when we stream Rocksmith, 2 at the table here, and then you can see our amps are mic'd back there for when we play. So, yeah, we got those 6 mics. I've got an 8 input interface here, which is actually really cool. It's a really good deal. Anyway, yeah, it's the Behringer. Yeah, the 18. Yeah, the 1820. And that's why we kind of needed it specifically for having all those inputs. Because it's like it's not just twice as hard with 2 streamers, it's like, exponentially hard to get everything to line up and have our volumes be set up well, and being able to monitor each other now, which we can actually hear ourselves going straight through the interface, which has been a huge deal. Really nice. Okay. Well, is it a USB? Okay. See, we use XLR. So before we were doing it, had some mic monitors, so we could actually adjust it, and then now it's going straight through our interface. So I wouldn't know how to do it with USB. Yeah. Be careful. Voice meter sometimes doesn't play well with Rocksmith. Like I had issues setting it up. All right, well, we are live, just so you guys know. Let you know that. And our guest this week is Pillars of Ash, another Rocksmith streamer along with us there. And hello, Pillars. Thank you for being on today. What shirt are you wearing there? Is that Obituary? Obscura. Have you charged some of their stuff? Or have I just seen you playing their charts? I know someone charged some of their stuff, right? Oh, my bad. Sorry. Jeez. Ah, yeah. Oh, are you using the Ultrastar? No, it's a separate program. Absolutely. Right. And like you're saying, those beat maps, getting that beat map right is the most important thing in the cards because you can tell when everything's out of sync. If someone puts a wrong note or they miss something, you can still play the song. But if it's out of sequence or out of sync, rather, it's unplayable. And there's nothing that'll stop a streamer or a Rocksmith player and like, no, this is off by like an eighth note. It's just impossible to play at that point. And you can always tell which bands recorded the click track and which bands didn't. Like oh yeah, we recharted Backcountry to split up the solos better, and that was easy. Like making the beat map on that was just they played the click track. Everything was boom 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 boom. But what we're doing now is Screechy and I are going through and we're trying to make tab for all of Gojira's stuff. So we started with Magma. They do not play the click track. They absolutely do not. They've said they don't. They said they don't want to. So like the intro could be like 120, and then the first verse is 128, and then the next one is 135, and then 125, and you're like, I'm glad I'm not charting this because that it's like when you're making the tab, it doesn't really matter if you tab the whole thing out if it's within a few BPM, but on those charts, oh boy, you have to drag and make sure each section lines up. And usually what we did is we'd go to the start of each section at the chorus, make sure line up, at the verse, make sure lined up, and that's the quickest way. But yeah, you can absolutely tell who uses a click track because theirs are easy, right? Too. I can imagine. Yep. BPM. Yeah. Right. Basically, what happens is if you have like 7/4 time and you put it over 4/4, it just doesn't line up with the 4/4 like beat one of a bar. But it still is. If the meter's the same, it doesn't matter. You can actually change the tempo in there, and it makes it look prettier. But like Pillar said, do you ever really pay attention to the tempo on the Rocksmith Highway? The lines that go by, kind of. Yeah, kind of exactly. So would you even notice if it went 7/4? Like, what's one of the official ones? Soundgarden song, Outshine. That one's in 7/4, or parts of it are 7/4. But you would never know it just by playing along to it. Yeah, but but then it's like, but if the BPMs are off, it doesn't matter if you get everything else because the notes are not going to line. So yeah, definitely from a charting point of view, the beat map matters. There's probably nothing more important than the tones. You can change your own tones. If someone, like I said, someone misses a note, you can fill it in yourself or just play what you think. But if that timing's off, I think that was one of the issues with a lot of the early Tool stuff. Not only did their BPM change, but their time signatures. Like some of the early Tool charts you see that people did, you're like, what the hell? There, there's it's custom songs, customs forged song manager will do it too. You can go in there and you can correct a bunch of stuff on your charts. You can correct the dynamic difficulty. You can correct the 100% bug. You can correct a bunch of stuff on there. And there are one of the Rocksmith toolkits you can actually change or transpose it. And the other nice thing you can do for those people that use the customs is Customs Forge Toolkit actually has a tool that will mark the CDLC as CDLC, and it also puts what tracks are on that CDLC on there. So it changes the album cover. So if you go through, it'll automatically mark our CDLC, and you can look at it and be like, oh, that it's not an official song, it's a custom, and it has these tracks, which is actually pretty cool. Yep, like little arrows. So there's actually some. Yeah, you can export your song list, put it up on. There's a lot of stuff. Yep. What? We're talking about Rollsmith. Different game completely. No, they're pretty cool programs. Even just for managing your own stuff. Like if you have a lot of CDLC, you can get rid of duplicates. It'll actually tell you if you have like a CDLC. It does a lot. I mean, it's a song manager. It's exactly what it is. Yeah, like you said, you can go in there and actually correct problems. Interesting. Oh, hold on. Let me try something here. I mean, I'm the only one that matters. Let me go ahead and talk.
Yo, 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 yo.
Okay, now you're showing up on the desktop audio. But am I showing up now?
What's up, Bart?
Great, now we got to start all back over.
All right, start over. I have to take that away from you.
Nope, it's here to stay.
So that was a very good Ospug earmuffs there. All right, guys, now I'll let you join the conversation. Welcome. But hey, so the devs heard nothing.
Yeah, so we're in the clear.
How you doing, Cardnock? So one thing we kind of started with all these guys off we were doing is, what is your music background, Pillars? How did you get into playing guitar and then playing Rocksmith?
Well, I would say, I mean, I played Guitar Hero. I think I had the first one. I remember the crappy plastic black guitar and everything.
Nope.
My brother come over, he's like, what are you doing? What is this? And, he made fun. He's like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, just play it, dude. Just play it. It's fun. He's like, oh yeah, it is fun. There was a song, obviously that he liked or whatever. And so he ended up getting Rock Band, some couple years later. Had the drums. And I took more to the drums really than I was already, good at the guitar thing. But so I started going to my uncle's and playing his drum kit. He had still has a Pearl drum kit, nice, double bass kit and everything. Eventually, one of my brother's friends brought over Rocksmith. This was probably 7 years ago or so.
I want to say it released in 2013 or 2012.
And I think it had been out for maybe a year or so. And I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get a guitar again, because I had a Jackson, and I don't even know what happened to it. And then he brought that over. I was like, oh, this is awesome, and I immediately ordered the.
That's a sequel. You don't have the original on disc?
I was gonna say this one was released 2013. It looks like it says, so the original probably would have been like 2012. Better than that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the 2014. The 2014. I don't think it was remastered yet.
Probably
I don't.
2013. I think that's when it actually came out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I ordered it for PlayStation. Uh, 3. Was it PS?
Yep.
I think I remember playing on PS3, and then I got the PS4 version, and it actually let me transfer all the DLC. I was like, oh, this is awesome, because most PlayStations that, like, if you bought it had a game on PS3, you couldn't, or at least some of them, you couldn't transfer them to PS4, which I was really pissed about. But uh, I eventually started learning about the custom stuff, the custom DLC, through YouTube or whatever. I was actually playing song, like, guys would upload their CDLC or whatever, playing to it, and I would just play to the YouTube. Um, so eventually, I built my own PC. I had spent like $300 on Amazon, bought an AMD like A series, like A4, and didn't even get a graphics card. I had to get that later. I was so noobish and everything. I just had no idea what I was getting into. But that's why I'm like, I'm just going head on into this. And I upgraded, to like A6 and A8, and I was pretty satisfied or whatever. And I think that's pretty much when I started. I found out about Chainbrain, and I think that was pretty much how I learned about Twitch and everything, was Chainbrain. And then, yeah, I just dove right into stream. I was like, all right, let's see how this goes.
Right.
And I stumbled upon this lightning from either a raid or, from some
All
project.
downhill from there.
Yeah, and then ballroom and her, got me hooked up with the Coakley bot and everything, and I was like, all right, let's do this. Then I started charting, like, not too not too long after that, I would say. Um, I really want to make my own music and everything, and I think the charting's definitely helping that. Like, it's really cool to see how these bands are making their music, all the chords, and some of them I'm just like, I'll have to grab my guitar to be like, okay, how are they? Because the editor on fire like wants the fingering.
Right. And it's tough. And like you're saying, it's a good way to learn what he's doing. Where sometimes they'll
Yep.
be, like figuring out a band, like just trying to transcribe something and not even charting it, just trying to figure it out. And you're like, wow, this is way more complex than I thought. Like you'll play the song and it sounds easy, and then just actually figuring out what they're playing. Like, oh, both guitars are playing something different. This one's slightly, here and that one's there. And we've kind of done a lot of that too. And it's such a good way to learn music. Figure out,
Yep.
like you said, what these bands are doing, which is just going to help you write your own stuff. Even if you're, kind of ripping off some of the stuff they're doing, kind of how music goes.
Oh yeah, that's something I think I'm still trying to get over is, there's only so much music out there, um, unless you're trying to reinvent the wheel and be animals as leaders.
Never heard of them.
You kind of have to start somewhere, and I mean, even if you uh, get a hold of a producer or a mixer, engineer, whatever, you go, hey, here's my music, or you go to a producer, hey, I want to, whatever it is, the first thing they're going to ask you is, give me a band that you're going, the sound that you're going for. So
And one
that's
one thing we've talked about too is that as far as kind of, there's only so much music out there. It's kind of hard to separate the musician from the music listener. Where most people don't really care how difficult a song is to play. If they're not a guitar player, they're like, yeah, great, you're shredding on there, but the song's boring. But then you play a song that might be a kind of a standard chord progression, but you have a cool melody and a nice chorus to sing along to, you'll love your song. And sometimes it's easy to forget that as a guitar player. Like, oh, I want to make this super complicated. And that guy that's drunk, he's had 6 beers and he's in the front row, doesn't care what your pedal board looks like or how hard your song was to play. He cares, can I mosh to it or can I sing along to it? And that's why I sometimes sing some of these bands. There's obviously bands like Dream Theater, Animals that appeal to the musician. And there's bands like Green Day that appeal to people that want to listen to music. They're not always going to overlap. And yeah, like you said, sometimes you're going to recycle stuff. There's only, 12 notes in the Western scales. And it's only a lot of combinations, but, you're going to repeat stuff that other bands kind of unavoidable.
Only got so many.
Right. And we also talk about that, like even scales. The pentatonic scale is only, get out of here, Wolf Mother. You don't have 37 notes.
I thought it was 35.
Well, if you go in like Indian music with the quarter tone and stuff like that, basically kind of does have more notes, and not like we can't hit some of those notes with like bends, a quarter step bend, and that's not a standard note in the scale, but it works, and you'll see some of these like old blues players, so they'll take like a 3-note riff and play it so many different ways that it just sounds cool, and you're like, oh, there's only 5 notes in that scale he's using. Made this really cool. But sometimes you repeat stuff.
Blues scale.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Right.
So how long have you?
Scale's only 5.
Pentatonic scale is 5. Major scale is 7.
Oh, okay. Is the blues? Is it 6?
Blues would be 6 because you add the flatted third in there. So you just add 1 note to the pentatonic scale, so it's kind of right in the middle there. But how long have you actually been playing guitar? Said you played drums also?
Yeah. I'd say, I think it was 6 years. It's got to be going on like 7 years or so at this point, I'm gonna say. But I think drums probably more like 10.
Yeah, I've caught some of your drum streams. You can actually beat the shit out of them, dude. I saw Lunchbox has got a electric kit too, and I'm just like, oh,
I want his kit. I want his kit.
Like, I actually have room now to set one up over here. Like, if I wanted, I'm just like, no, don't do it, man. Just don't do it.
His is basically mine, but a newer, upgraded version. So mine, it has like, the rubber kind of just, his has like the mesh kind of deal.
Yeah.
And
some of those like
really nice.
Those V drums are getting really good, like the right. As I was gonna, like Wolf Mother said there. I mean, I think Boom's been playing drums. Wrath's been playing drums. Like, yeah,
Wrath's been playing drums.
Well, he did for a while. I don't know if
I know
he was before he stopped streaming. He was playing drums. I don't know if he's been playing since he came back. But yeah, a lot of those guys. I mean, drums are fun. It's a whole.
I love drums.
And my younger brother plays drums, and I played drums, so we played drums together. But it was kind of one of those fights where I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna play drums." No, you can't exclude your brother. You have to let him play. I'm like, come on,
My parents basically talked me out of playing drums in school because they didn't want me to get drums to like annoy the piss out of them growing up. So it was like one of those things where I'll just play them whenever I can and kind of taught myself like later on,
Well,
yeah, I've been itching to play drums for a long time. I haven't played drums since like high school, so it's been a long time.
Interesting, because I think like Rock Band and Guitar Hero and all that, you're not really gonna learn how to play guitar necessarily, but I think you can actually learn how to play drums. Like, I think that's one where it's like it kind of translates over, but you're still doing the same motions even on a smaller kit. You still got. And
I wore out so many Rock Band drum stands. Like, I think I went through like 3 of them, at least 3 of them. Yeah, because like the red pad was always the snare pad, and that was always the first one to die. Because like you hit it all the time. And like granted the kits got better when they released the game. It got to like Rock Band 3, the kits in the box were like a lot better. They fixed them like later on. But those first few generations of drum pads I destroyed.
I
Like
always wanted the later version, the last version that they made.
with the symbols?
Yeah, it had like, but
No,
it was
you're
made
not.
by Mad Cats.
Better than Lars, yeah.
I think we
Trash
have.
can.
I think we have the Rock Band for drums. I had the. Can you make a Lars version of that? Just like
Yeah,
in
with the trash can.
Just in the trash can, a bunch of stuff.
I'll have to, yeah. I'll work on it.
Because I don't think we got or we had Guitar Hero, but not Rock Band until either the World Tour, which that was 4, and whatever the Beatles one was. So I think we got one of the later better kits. We still have it, but I could not do Rock Band and Guitar Hero. I just struggled with it. I wanted to play like this isn't a guitar, like give me a real guitar.
Oh, and the kick pedal for the bass drum. Yeah, I broke a couple of those too. They actually released one that had like a steel plate in it, like later on.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah, it was like around Rock Band 3. I think Rock Band 3 they finally fixed all the broken pads and the broken kick pedal.
Kind of have to at some point.
So I remember literally playing one night in the basement because that was the only place I was allowed to play because annoyed crap out of everybody because all you could hear was kick, you know. And like I remember playing one night and then like I heard something crunch and like I looked down and literally my bass pedal was like that. I just like broke it right in half. I was like so sad for like a week, and then I was like begging mom and dad for money so I could go get a new one. They're like, "No, you need to focus more on schoolwork and be an adult." And I'm just like,
being an adult.
What really happened was your parents thought it just enough that you'd break it so you'd stop playing.
No, dude, they wouldn't sabotage me like that.
Totally
they always
sabotaged
encouraged
you.
my music except when I played drums because it was too loud.
That's what I mean. They're like, let's get rid of this drum set. But Wolfmother is even tougher for me because coming to like Rock Band and Guitar Hero, having already played guitar, like the game would be quarter notes, playing whatever, and the song itself was triplets, and you're like,
right.
This feels wrong to play. Like I should be playing a and it's like da 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 da. I'm like, no, it doesn't line up.
I had a chart like that the other day. I was like, what the heck? There's more notes here.
In Rocksmith?
Yeah.
But it's so hard to do I get why dynamic difficulty is there, but I can't do it anymore. Because you get that where like I know
I can't either.
I'm supposed to be playing triplets here and it's giving you dut, dut, dut. And you're like, no, that's not right.
I was so happy when they did the update for Override to Max.
Yeah.
Because I was so tired of going through and
manually like yep.
Yeah, Guitar Hero is a great
and
game.
I actually I had somebody in my chat point that out to me one day. They're like, Eagle, what are you doing? Just turn it off. And I was like, you can turn it off? And they're like, yeah, you can turn it off. And I was just like, oh my God. So like I immediately went and turned it off and I haven't looked back since.
Right.
I think it was sometime after either remastered.
Yeah, I want to say it was a patch with remastered because like they patched it after a while. And they're like, oh, by the way, now you can search for shit by typing stuff.
Yeah.
That was like the greatest thing ever.
And the greatest thing ever was when I figured out you could make the strings correct.
What do you mean?
You could invert the strings so they're right.
Oh, right.
Oh, do you play that way too? Pillars with the strings inverted?
The strings correct.
Nope, I keep them.
He plays it the right way then.
Reverse them, just like.
Thank you, Wolfmother. You show me anywhere else.
Inverted is correct.
Show me anywhere else where the strings are like that. This doesn't exist. It's wrong. We actually had a big discussion about this in Miss Lightning's channel where it's like, I get it. From a game point of view, it makes sense because you're looking at the back of the guitar. But when you're actually playing guitar, you never look at the back of your guitar to figure out you're playing. You look down at your guitar.
Yeah, I mean, you look down, but like you also look at the neck, right? Like I look at the dots on the side of the neck. You don't actually like look down.
But you're still looking down on what's the closest string to you when you're looking.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be all muscle memory. Like, duh. Well, yeah, like
once you know it. But it's like, I mean, I wish they would just give you the option. Like instead, like not just default to the wrong way. Like say, hey, which would you prefer? Like the rest of the world does it or our weird way?
So like Side shift. Okay, since y'all brought up inverted, do you guys play console games inverted?
Nope.
I don't
Like
have,
first person shooters? Do you play inverted?
I hate inverted.
absolutely, Amy. Go ahead. Low E is the low string multiplayer.
What's the
And
And
to
it's
some,
on the top with tabs, right?
Rocksmith is supposed
Well,
to be
he's
tab.
on the.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
no, like with traditional tabs, the low E string is on the top, right?
the low E string is
Or
on
is
the
it on the
bottom.
Or
bottom?
E equals MC.
Yeah, the low E string is on the bottom, like when you invert the strings, because that's the way it should be.
Yep, on tabs, it I can definitely verify it's supposed to be. But for some reason, I oh, okay. I just took accustomed
Hey,
to that.
Amy, you can't post links there. If you want to message me a link, I'll take a look at it before we post it in there. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, she had a period in there, and it made it
Oh,
look like a
maybe it
link.
thought it was a. Let me see. I think I can see it in
Oh yeah, sometimes if you
No
look
games
at it,
with
it'll-
hippos. What?
Yeah, why is there almost no games with hippos on them?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's children's games with like cartoon ones.
Is there a Hungry Hungry Hippos video game?
Yo, you just gave me an idea. Let's go into partnership and make that. We can make it for the Switch and have it like with the Joy-Cons and shit. We'd
Yeah.
be millionaires, dude.
But yeah,
Telling you.
with I just wish I'd kind of give it to you, give you the option instead of
Hungry
hiding.
Hungry Battle
Yes.
Royale. Yeah.
dude, that'd be the
Everything's
best.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they hide that option. Like, especially if you've been playing tabs for a long time. Oh, Maltese Falcon. It'd just be nice to have that option at the start instead of finding out 3 years later, oh, I can make the strings, what I'm used to. And then, of course, you got like Screechy learned a lot with Rocksmith, so she's used to it. And she can switch back and forth. But I spent a long time just reading tabs.
Wow, I might have to try that. Invert and see how I do.
I mean, I could probably try it, but like at the same time, like that's all I've ever known, and like I didn't really read a lot of tabs.
Yeah.
I read just traditional music, so I'm just like I feel like I don't know. I might give it a shot.
PC or console.
Play pretty much PC. I don't do a
I
lot
do
of
both.
gaming besides Rocksmith, and gonna do WoW Classic along with Eaglebone and some other people.
Eaglebone is not playing WoW Classic. Let's
Yes,
just
you
go ahead and
are.
put it out there.
Yes, you are. You okay?
I'm not. Nope. The only way I'll do it is if you guys pay for it, because I'm not doing it.
Oh, okay.
If you want to
Alright.
give me like a year
what
of
it
WoW
is.
Classic, I'll do it, but I'm
Alright.
not doing it.
I'm
Year.
in.
It has to be a year.
I'm in. I'll throw some money towards that.
No,
Has to
you
be a
guys
year.
know that like once we go down this rabbit hole, none of us will ever stream again. Like that's gonna
Well, that's
be
not
it. Because
true.
all
We'll just stream WoW.
yeah, but no one's gonna watch us.
No,
And like,
probably
how
not.
did Fart Knock know I was a tank? Because like I always play tank. Like I
Uh-oh.
really do. And it's probably because I'm like huge. But like I always do tank. And like when I originally played, I was tank. So I'm like,
I can play any role. Give me. I can do MIDI. I can do jungle. What are we playing? Are we playing League?
this
Are
is
we playing-
wow.
World
We're
of
playing
Warcraft.
WoW. Okay, I'll do. I haven't played WoW.
Don't fart knock the
Don't
heels.
do it.
I'll be barbarian, whatever that is.
Fury Warrior.
I'll be an orc.
Yes.
I think they're all going Alliance though,
I
right?
played Diablo.
Well, actually, I think there's going to be multiple kind of server groups. Like Ricky, Screechy, Slurpee, and and Robbie are doing Alliance on, but a lot of the other Rocksmith streamers are playing too, and I have a feeling that's going to be kind of a separate, its own thing. Like, I mean, we've that Discord that Wolfmother made to kind of organize and find out what people are.
Better watch Pillars. He'll pull you right into it and you won't even know what you're clicking on.
10 years later.
I used to play DC Universe on
The card
console.
game?
No, the MMO.
Oh, okay.
Then I went to the Elder Scrolls Online. This was on PS4.
Apparently
and
that just had like a
then-
huge content update and it's supposed to be like a lot of fun. There's dragons in it now.
Yep.
So
By the way, Amy, thank you for the follow. I don't know why our alerts didn't pop up there.
And then I played Call of Duty. That was my other big thing. That was actually before I still played it on PlayStation. But when I had a 360, Xbox 360, I played Call of Duty. That was my big thing. That was like
Call of
shortly
Duty's.
after Guitar Hero and stuff like that.
Is it like so? Like with Call of Duty's, right? Like I try to talk myself out of it every year. I'm not doing it. I'm not buying it. It's the same damn game. It comes out every year. She
Yep.
says a fresh coat of paint. There's nothing different about it.
Yep.
And I still buy them every single year.
One thing I've avoided for years now because I know I would never stop playing is Super Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl.
Those are fun.
Yeah, they every season they update. There's a community out there where they make an emulated version of it, so you can play it on your PC or you can put it on your console, and they update the teams every year, so it has current
Oh,
teams.
did they really? Like,
Yeah.
is it like a ROM hack type situation?
Yeah, right.
ROM hack.
So it's the original game. They just update the players every year to account for it, and they have the tournaments every year in the seasons. And
Wow, so it's like an
Right.
underground thing. That's crazy.
well,
That's cool.
I mean, they're pretty wide open with it, and they don't seem to have any problems. You know, it's interesting. I don't know if they've got support of Connect, anything like that. But I played
Oh,
that
dude, you know
game,
Konami's not behind it. They don't want to advertise that people are hacking their stuff.
or they just don't care because they don't make the game anymore, and they're like, it's just keeping the game alive. Like they may do something, something with that. But every year
They may know about it, but
Yeah.
they can't acknowledge it.
kind of like
Type
Rollsmith.
situation. Rollsmith, yeah.
But I wasted.
I'm trying to think of
so
a
much
better,
time.
like, funnier name than Rollsmith. Like,
Roast.
it's not bad, but I'm just like, there's got to be something funnier. We'll figure it out.
Brosmith.
But yeah, we played that game
Rollsmith.
so much, and it's the second one. I know they made the Super Nintendo one.
No, we're talking about Rollsmith.
You
missed the part of the
yeah,
conversation.
evil twin of Rocksmith.
Yeah.
And I'm like, every year I look at it, like I'll have, because I'm on the mailing list, and something will pop up where it's like, oh, new rosters available, da da da, and I'm like, oh, I so want to do this, but I know I'll never. Like, honestly, since the Chargers left San Diego, I haven't watched a single football game. Like the last 3 seasons.
I don't watch sports.
It's tough because we had a fantasy football league that went for about 10 years. And when the writing was kind of on the wall and we were pretty sure the Chargers were leaving, everyone kind of started losing interest. And I work Sundays, so sometimes it's like I couldn't even watch games. And like after a while, I was like, I'm just,
That's kind of the thing, right? So like I don't watch sports, so therefore when I cut the cord cable like 3 or 4 years ago, because like that's all that's on TV. Like that, if you like when you people really only keep cable to watch sports, like really,
a lot of people.
truthfully.
Then there's some
So,
people that
like-
just can't figure out cutting the cable.
But like now we're starting to go down the rabbit hole because like
My soaps.
cutting the cord was like the shit, right? Like 4 or 5 years ago. But now like everybody and their sister has got their own streaming app, and they're like, pay $5 and get this. And it's just now we're back to square one. I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm going to go ahead and get cable again because like I'm going to start totaling up all these apps. It's going to cost the same to get cable.
If you get everything. But honestly, even before we cut cable, I was getting to the point where I was like, look, the handful of shows I watch, it'd be cheaper for me to just pay and buy the seasons on Amazon or, iTunes or whatever than it would be to actually have cable. I really don't watch that much. And it's like you said, except for sports.
Yeah.
And the one nice thing is that T-Mobile every year gives away a free subscription to MLB TV. So that's how I watch baseball, that subscription.
Well, that's cool that they do that.
Yeah, it's actually really neat. But yeah, beyond that, it's like I don't watch enough live TV to justify it. Although all the new Star Trek series coming out, and now Disney is really making a good run at getting me to subscribe.
Disney is going to like shit in Netflix's like pool. Like I'm telling you, because like Netflix is like on the backslide, right? They've lost a shit ton of subscribers in the last like 4 months. Their numbers are bad. So like Disney's getting ready to launch Disney Plus, and you can pay an additional $5 more, and you can get Hulu, ESPN Plus, and like what else? There's like 4 others that you could get.
I've never tried Hulu.
All for the same price as Netflix, which is what, $12.99 now for the standard. I pay $14.99 to get the 4K content.
We had Hulu. We had Hulu TV for a bit, but they don't support our main streaming device. The main room there is the NVIDIA Shield, and Hulu does not make an app for it. It was a weird thing.
They don't?
No, they said that there's not enough reason to support it. Not enough people use it, and I'm like,
oh, you can find those boxes run Android. You can find a Hulu app.
You can sideload it, but the sideloaded version was kind of crappy, and I was like, you know what? There's better options. Like we have YouTube TV, way better. It's got for us for what we watch. It's actually way better than Hulu anyway.
I have PS View.
That's one we looked at too. Yeah, and they're all starting to bundle with each other, and that's kind of cool. But again, you're gonna end up, like you said, at least now we have the choice. When everything's bundled again, you're gonna be like, oh, if I want this, I have to get these other 3 or 4. Like,
Hulu's included in Spotify too. They cut a deal together, which is that's true. Wolfmother.
Like Disney is making enough shows. Like I was like The Mandalorian, and I'll just wait till it's released and then watch it. Then I'm not gonna pay every month.
See, I don't know if I could wait.
And then
because I keep reading so many good things about The Mandalorian. I'm just like, I might have to get Disney Plus on day one just to see The Mandalorian.
And then they announced a new season of the Clone Wars cartoon. Damn it! Then,
dude, they announced like 10 shows the other day coming to Disney Plus. That's nuts, dude.
I mean, they're gonna take.
They're spending that money, man. Like they got more money than God.
You said there's
so like no show ain't got no budget.
What's that?
So the Star Trek stuff's gonna be on CBS All Access.
CBS.
Yeah. They own that IP.
Did they finish the one they were on? The what was
Rebels?
it called?
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Oh, Discovery.
Discovery.
Yeah, I think it was this. I think.
They did I watched the first season and a half, but I stopped subscribing, so I haven't watched all of it. So they make a 3rd season.
Yeah, it's coming. I think
they're doing more.
It wasn't that great for me, at least. When I watched like the first few episodes, I was like,
But the new one with Picard is coming.
The weird thing about
Picard, what?
Yeah, it's called Star Trek Picard, and it's coming out later this year.
And then the other one.
So I'm just like,
The weird thing about Star Trek is that, like, as you go further back, you've got to find that balance of when you watch original series, the technology is crappy. Like, we have now better technology than they had in the original series. So what do you do when you go back and make the prequel to that with, like, Enterprise? Do you make the technology really crappy? Or do you just kind of, like, hand wave it away and be like, we're going to make it? I mean, even, like, watching Enterprise, the technology we have now is better than it was in Enterprise. And you're like, you got this weird conundrum where, or then you watch Discovery and they just said, forget it. We're just going to make the technology more realistic to what it would be in 2, 3. But then it looks funky. You watch Discovery, which is supposed to be the oldest, one of the older ones, but the technology is better than all the newer ones. And you're like, okay, how do you, it's this weird kind of time warp thing where you're like, okay, like, what do you can't redo all
Star Wars situation where like how the movies were made before the first few were actually the later movies.
Yeah.
And then later ones were.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like,
and it's like everything is flat screen now. But then you look at Star Trek, which is supposed to be 200-300 years in the future, and it's all like CRTs, and they're looking through like weird viewers, and you're like, well, shouldn't they just have, like,
I heard
super
all
flat
this
screen?
conversation, and I have one rebuttal.
Okay.
We do not have holodecks, okay? So like we're not quite there.
VR is
so
getting
the
pretty
technology.
VR is getting really close.
That is pretty damn close.
It's getting there, and I bet you will get it because when in the Enterprise series they didn't have it when Enterprise started. I bet you will have basically holodecks before we reach that period in time. Yeah, it's.
I don't know.
What was the thing called? Where they make it like they're like
replicator.
Yeah, we need that shit.
Oh yeah.
Give me coffee.
Yeah.
No, to me the Back to the Future, the hydrator. Oh, Mom, you sure know how to hydrate a pizza.
Yeah.
That's when I know we've made it to the future when we have the hydrator, when we put the pizza that's like this big around in the hydrator.
Hydrated pizza.
Yeah. We've kind of, I mean, like you said, VR is getting to the point where it's like we've always had like flight simulators and stuff like that. You know, they do training in those things because they're so realistic. You're getting to the point with the real time interaction with other people. I mean, after WoW Classic, you're going to have WoW Virtual where you're actually moving around in your character and stuff.
Everybody will be too fat to move around by the time that comes out.
That'd be a
So like that's not going to happen. It's going to be like Wall-E
in the holodeck. Yeah.
Oh man,
I can't fit in the holodeck. Oh boy. Yeah.
Wow.
They're making a good play to get me to subscribe to one of those. Because the one that I really want to watch is one of my favorite Star Trek episodes was the Below Decks or Lower Decks, whatever it's called, where they kind of had a whole episode about these 4 people that were on the Enterprise, but they weren't like the bridge crew, you know. And then they're making.
I don't remember that one.
It was in the Next Generation.
Was it in? I was gonna say, was it Next Generation?
Yeah.
I have to go back and like find it.
The 5th season, I think. But yeah, it was these 4.
Please tell me those are all still on Netflix.
They're on Amazon Prime, I think. I don't know if they're on Netflix.
Okay.
Bridge Crew VR game.
Yes, dude. Well, there's a few bridge simulators like Artemis and a few others, and I know Star Trek. They made an official Bridge Crew VR one where you actually play it, but I understand it wasn't as good actually as like Artemis and the other bridge simulators. Those things.
What do you
really
do?
Cool.
Do you just like walk around with a wrench and like fix stuff?
Well, the bridge simulators, like the only one I've played consistently was called Artemis. And what you do is you have one computer running the sim. And then you have however many people, you can have like 7 or 8 crew members. And so everyone gets a job. And you got one guy that's the captain who has nothing to do. He just sits there and gives commands. And you have like the main computer running like the main view screen. You have like a science officer, a weapons officer, your engineer.
You have the Sigourney Weaver character that just repeats the computer.
Engineering.
Yeah, exactly. So like, as if I was a captain, I'd be like, hey, you know, yeah, near to science thing, Eagle Bone, give me a scan of the system. You know, and then like, oh, there's, you know, whatever the enemy was. There's like 3 enemy ships. Pillars, put up
if
shields.
If you were my captain, I'd be like, mutiny.
We had
throw you off your chair.
There's one of our friends was just the worst captain. Where
see, he's already had it happen to him once. He doesn't want to talk.
He would be like
it.
The ship's flying towards, and then like my friends would just troll him, and they'd be like, they wouldn't do anything unless he told them to. So they're like, oh, fly this way, and he'd keep flying, and they're like flying straight into the star. And they're like, is he going to tell us not to? Not to. And they wouldn't say anything, so they just fly the ship right into the star. And he's like, what are you doing? You didn't tell me not to do it. And I was like, but it's now
really that cool. would be a game that I would play with you guys. Because like that would just be too much fun. Because we'd all start trolling everybody.
I wonder. I'll have to look and see if Artemis, if you can play it online. Because it's supposed to be all network, like in the same room. And they'll have these setups at like different Star Trek conventions, or just like they'll have their own conventions where people like make terminals. So they'll make like a pedestal that has the tablet built in, so you can stand at your terminal and hit the touch keys. And do different stuff. It's crazy.
It's kind of like that big. You remember that big Mech Warrior game that came out for the original Xbox, and it had the like huge ass like panels that you had to sit on a table, and it had the joysticks in the middle.
All right, I'm really gonna date myself here, but there was a place in San Diego.
You guys remember that?
I do remember that, but there's a place called.
It cost like $400. It was like legit. Yeah. It come in a box like the Rock Band box. It was so cool. I wanted it so bad. My parents were like, "No, it costs more than the damn console."
Nope.
There's a place here called Virtual World, where you could go, and they had like pods, and you'd get in these pods, and you'd control your mech. So they have like joysticks with like 12 buttons, something like that, and you'd go pay by the game to play.
Dude, I want to go now. Like that sounds like fun.
Honestly, like. At that point, it was such good technology because you'd have like 8 people playing at once. You'd go in there and you'd fight each other and fight the computer. And then the other one was like, it was like some kind of race sim where you're like on Mars and you'd have to race through tunnels and stuff like that. But like there was no home computers could run it. Honestly, now the graphics look like Minecraft, like it was all blocky and stuff like that. But it was still so awesome. Where you're like, you know, in this pod moving stuff around and you're looking like with your mech head. And then
okay, Minecraft. Quick sidetrack. I saw the dumbest thing I've ever seen the other day. I updated my video card drivers. There was an update out, and there was an advert on the thing, and it said, Minecraft now with real-time ray tracing technology. I'm just
Say,
like,
huh?
Minecraft's a blocky ass fucking game. I'm like, why does it need ray tracing technology?
Well, I think
Like,
that
it
was kind
just,
of
what are you gonna do? Polish a turd? Like, it's what it looks like, because like it's all blocky and it's blocky by design.
yeah, but
So like,
there's
it's
Yeah.
supposed to look
so many
crappy.
mods for it that I'm sure someone has made one where you actually looks, which just be
But
weird.
why? Like, that just like takes
Yeah.
away from it. Because like, to me, when I first played it like 10 years ago, when it was still in beta, that was the whole point, was that it looked like
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
And
it's
like now they're like, now you can get it with ray tracing graphics in real time. And I'm like,
yeah.
what the, you know,
And
Ray
for
trace.
me, coming from like
like RTX, like the
Yeah.
new graphics cards are all RTX.
Oh.
Yeah. So like the new Call of Duty game that's coming out is ray tracing. It's all built with that's the new standard, is the RTX stuff.
Wonder if I have an update.
Everybody's checking their video card drivers. Oh, gotta check.
my first my first console system would have been the NES. You know, that was what I got. I remember getting it for not a Commodore 64 before that. And honestly, some of the best games I have ever played were on the Nintendo, you know, because the gameplay was good. You know, it's like there's a balance between having shitty graphics like the ET game and just like being unplayable and just having fun games with mediocre graphics. But like the King's Quest games, the Space Quest games that Sierra did, like back when Radio Shack was still making candies, Leisure Suit Larry, all those games are some of the most fun games I played. And they looked like Minecraft. They looked worse than Minecraft. You know, they
Oh
weren't
yeah.
even 3D. You know, it was like they were 3D but
Final
not
Fantasy
3D.
7.
Yeah. And it's
That's
like,
getting a remaster that's coming out this fall, right? Or is it next year?
Oh my
Early
gosh,
next year.
I've been waiting.
what is?
Everybody's been Final Fantasy 7 remastered.
And it's funny, Screech
It's a
and I
big
went.
one.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Sierra made it, right, Wolfmother? Well, it was Sierra that released it. Someone else might have actually made it. But those games are so much fun.
So
Beyond
when
the
you say
fact-
Sierra, it makes me think of Lode Runner.
Yeah.
So like I would get off the school bus and go to my dad's office, and he had a computer in his office, and he had Lode Runner on it, and I used to like, Dad, can I play Lode Runner? Did you bring home a good like report? Were you good in school today? I'm like, yeah, you can check my backpack, and like he would go through my backpack and shit. He's like, all right, you can play Lode Runner until I have to go home,
and that.
because I get off the bus at like 3:45, right, and he always had to stay till like 4:30. And I just remember loading up that game and like the big Sierra icon would flash up on the
Yep.
desktop. So
And,
cool.
and yeah, but those games are so much fun playing, like King's Quest, Space Quest, Manhunter. Again, this was probably like late 80s, early 90s. And so I'm kind of used to that. So I get the whole Minecraft thing. There's a point where it's like the graphics need to be better than that. You know, I understand for some things it's good, but for that type of game, would Minecraft be any better with super realistic graphics? Don't think so.
No, that's what I'm
Probably
saying.
not.
Like,
Tecmo Bowl. Tecmo Bowl is the best football game ever made, as far as I'm concerned. As good as the graphics are on Madden, all those,
Blitz and Blitz.
NFL Blitz. I was
NFL
gonna say
Blitz.
Blitz was
Oh, man.
awesome.
kind of the same thing. It's kind of right in the middle there.
Blitz was like, I had it on the Dreamcast, and the funniest thing about Blitz was that you could like tackle people like after the plays and stuff were over.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, that was completely unnecessary. You know, that was always my favorite. Blitz was so good, and like they never made another one after that. It was only the one they made.
I think they had made one for PlayStation, maybe two, or I think that was the last one, but it wasn't.
Nowhere near as good.
I don't think they like improved any or did anything to it. I think it was just like a reconsole or whatever. But
Like my favorite baseball game is probably RBI Baseball, and actually the MLB revived that, and they do it themselves on their website now. But that game was just so much fun. There's a few other games. There's one for the Wii. I forget what it's called, but it was such a fun game. But it's like super realistic baseball games. I'm like, I just don't feel like you can be too realistic with the joystick. It's just not gonna be the same. It's like there's a point where you're like too realistic. It's not fun anymore. For me, obviously, like coming from an older gaming tradition.
yeah,
I remember playing the baseball game on the Sega Game Gear. Did y'all ever play those?
Yeah.
It weighed like 10 pounds, and it would just like soak up the batteries, dude. Like you put like 4 AA's in it, and then if you played it for an hour, they'd be dead. So then I
Wow.
like Then they launched this like battery pack that you could charge, or no, you couldn't charge it. You had to plug it in the wall, and it had a cord that was like 9 feet long. But the battery pack had a belt clip, so like you could like clip it on your jeans, plug into the wall, and you could go like 9 feet, and then you would have like unlimited battery power.
Not working anymore.
It's the greatest thing ever. I still wish I had it because I had a friend of mine that collects like old consoles and stuff.
Yeah.
I told him I had one, and he was like, "Dude, I give you $500 for it."
Like, what?
I was like, "Hey, mom, did you ever clean out my closet?"
Get rid of stuff.
So he said he would give me like $500 for the Game Gear, and he was going to give me like $600 for the Virtual Boy because I had one of those too.
Oh man.
Do you remember those?
Yeah.
I remember the name. I don't think I ever had one, but I know of it.
It only had like 5 games that ever came out on it because like it died like shortly after it came out.
What was the other
One of them was a Wario game, and then there was a Mario Tennis that came with it.
There's a few systems that were like the Lynx was pretty good, and that just kind of nobody played it, so it just kind of went away, you know.
Yeah, Nintendo screwed up with the Virtual Boy. But I thought it was the coolest thing ever, man.
I don't think I ever had a GameCube either, but
I missed the GameCube.
I had a cube.
That was about when I stopped gaming so much.
And became a grown up.
Let's not get out of control here.
Nintendo 64 was really a good system.
I remember opening that up on Christmas morning. Yeah, that was a good Christmas. But I got a cube, and then like I didn't really get another Nintendo system until the Switch came out. Because I went straight to Xbox after that, and still I am an Xbox player, but I didn't get another Nintendo system until the Switch came out. I didn't get the Wii or the Wii. My little brother has a Wii.
We have the Wii.
And we used to like we used to steal the Wii all the time from him because he would like have to go to bed early, and then we would stay up and play the Wii. They had this like little game. It was like a compilation of games that came on a disc. They're like little arcade games, and like one of them was like a little tank game, and you could just like drive tanks around and try to blow each other up before. And we would stay up all night playing that and just laughing and carrying on. And
what was that game? Bomberman? Was it Bomberman?
No, it was like it came on. It was like it was a compilation. It had like 5 games on a disc.
Yeah.
And it was, I can't even remember the name of it. It was a little tank game. But like if you have 4 players, you'd have like you would start on like a 4x4 map, and each person would be in the corner. And then it was just like go, and then you would try to blow each other up. Last one standing wins. God, that was so much fun, dude. We stay up all night playing that shit. Just laughing and cutting up. This was before we started becoming adults and drinking booze and stuff, and finding other ways of fun, you know.
And then my friend sucked me back in by getting me into WoW. That's about like honestly, that's the only game I've really played for any extended period of time since probably the N64. You know, I was like,
wow.
I think it's partially my work schedule. I just had such a weird schedule that like I'm like, I don't really feel like gaming. Like I'd have fun with games and I'd play them, and then like I didn't want to spend the time to get really good at like fighting games. I was terrible at fighting games.
Not even at Mortal Kombat?
I was terrible at Mortal Kombat. I was okay at Street Fighter, but Mortal Kombat I was terrible at.
I own your ass in some Mortal Kombat. Let's go.
I don't have the patience for this nonsense, you know? Like
so have you guys seen those arcade 1-up cabinets?
Yes.
It's like $300 and it's like a 4-foot tall cabinet. Yeah. And there's a Mortal Kombat one, and I really want it. And the only reason why I want it is so I could set it up behind me and leave it in the background because I'll never fucking touch it. But like, it would be so cool to have in a game room, right? And I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna set up a dono goal on my channel just to get the Mortal Kombat cabinet. Yeah. But like, there's a Star Wars one coming out this fall that has like all the original like the SNES Star Wars games on it.
Oh man, like if they redid TIE Fighter and X-Wing, oh boy. Those games are so fun.
I'm just telling you, man, like if I buy one, I won't stop because like I'll have to have like 50. And that's like the only reason why I haven't bought one. But really, truthfully, the only one I really want is the Mortal Kombat one because it's just so cool. It looks just like the cabinet in the arcade that I played at the swimming pool when I was a kid because My parents would drop me off, and we all know I didn't like to swim, so I'd stay in the arcade all day playing Mortal Kombat. I'd beg mom for like a roll of quarters. She's like, "No, you need to get out there and swim and be social." I'm like, "All right."
That was it.
I never did. I stayed in the arcade playing Mortal Kombat. It got to the point where I was starting to get really good at it, and people were like standing around me, watching me climb the ladder. It was like, this is legit, dude.
I think
Telling
the
you.
only real arcade that I been to was like Dave and Buster's. I don't know if you guys know Dave and Buster's.
It's like
We've
Dave and
never been.
Buster's is like adult Chuck E. Cheese, right? Except there's
Exactly.
there's no like animatronics, and they serve booze too, don't they?
Yep.
And
Yeah, that sounds like a place I'd enjoy.
Expensive.
Let's go. Is it? Oh, no doubt.
Like when
Yeah.
they came out the nickel arcades, that was the best thing ever, and that was kind of the only time I'd ever go to the arcade. I remember going to the local 7-Eleven with your pocket full of
Oh my
quarters and going and
gosh.
playing games there, Spy Hunter and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah. It's like there'd just be a
Man.
corner. You go into 7-Eleven, and in one of the corners, like usually where the ATM machines are now, there'd be like 2 or 3 cabinets, and you just go play whatever.
7-Eleven. What's
Yeah.
7-Eleven?
Oh God.
You don't know seven? Oh gosh. Okay.
No, so like Pillars doesn't know. There's only one 7-Eleven in the entire state of Kentucky, and it's nowhere near where I live. None. There's only one.
I don't know if I really know of any around, to be honest.
Slurpees. I've had a couple Slurpees this summer.
I've had a
Slurpee.
Slurpee.
Yeah.
I've had Slurpees. So like I used to go to a college in Virginia that had one literally right down from my dorm. So like we used to walk down there all the time, and we try to get people to buy us beer and stuff, 18, 19-year-old kids.
Hopefully your mom's not watching.
Nah, she did come by the stream like a week ago. You missed it.
No, you told me about it.
Yeah.
Slurpees.
Remember you get like the Slurpee that was like this big, and then like you drink it and then you get brain freeze?
It's like when we went to get Slurpees, I think it was she hasn't had a lot of Slurpees for
Reasons.
And so like, yeah, you can get one, whatever. And she just like looked at me like I was crazy when I started mixing the flavors. A little bit of Coke, a little bit of blueberry, a little bit of cherry. It's like, what are you doing? That sounds disgusting. I was like, oh man, you don't know. After a while, they all taste the same, but up until then.
No, like I worked at a movie theater in the concession stand, and like the drink that we called that everybody wanted to mix all the fountain drinks together, we called it a suicide.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I told her. It's a suicide.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think I ever did that. I don't think I
Never had a
did that.
suicide before?
Nope.
So good.
Put
You
all
mix
the
it right.
flavors.
I've mixed them.
Delicious.
Like I might mix the blue and the red, or like the Mountain Dew with some, or but never all of them.
That's good. You should try one. It's pretty good.
It probably just tastes like.
No, it has a flavor.
What if there's like Minute Maid in there or something? What if there's a water?
Well, they would
You
always
put the
say
water in
like,
there too?
no, though they would always say like they want a suicide. I'd be like, is there anything you don't want in it? And then they'd be like, yeah, don't put pink lemonade in it, because we always had pink lemonade in our fountain.
Yeah, I hate pink.
Yeah.
I don't
So they'd be like,
grapefruit.
don't put pink lemonade in it. And I'd be like, so.
So my
But
boss.
yeah, if you put pink lemonade in it, it doesn't taste right. It throws the whole flavor
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
My boss just went fishing in Wyoming out there, and we had been talking about Slurpees at work, and he said they're actually one of the, I think it was called like a sloshy,
A slushy?
a sloshy, like slosh
Oh,
balls.
oh, with an O.
Yeah, sloshy. And he said that these were just like in the stores there. They're basically alcoholic Slurpees.
What?
Yeah, and you could go to the convenience stores or wherever it was, or certain restaurants where you'd go, and it was called like a sloshy or something like that. And he's like, you could get them in the big giant, containers. And he said, I don't think he got one, but he's like, yeah,
we got one.
yeah, probably. He's like, yeah, they had alcoholic Slurpees. And I was like, it's like, because that's one cool thing Wyoming has going for them. I think it's called sloshy. There's a specific.
Yeah, I wonder where they got that idea.
I was gonna say
Right?
there's icy. I know there's like icy
Slush
that's
puppies.
and
Slush puppies. Yeah.
Didn't the ice or no? I know Little Caesars had think icy in there.
Yeah.
Oh man, Little Caesars crazy bread, so good.
Their stuffed crust, their pretzel crust, the stuffed pretzel crust is so good. Actually,
Is it good?
it was actually really good. Like it
now
was terrible.
Now they make one. They make one now that's like diarrhea-rific. It has like bacon wrapped around it. Have you
Yes.
seen that? It's like a. I'm like.
Diarrhea-rific.
Miss Osberg just asked me what's for dinner, so I'm gonna say pizza.
Yeah, pizza is my diet.
I kind of get bored with pizza though, because like pizza's pizza. I mean, I don't want to say pizza's
Yeah.
pizza, but like, I don't know. Like I've ate it so much, I'm just like, I get it like once a month now, and I'm like good for a while.
I gotta switch it up too. I'll make like spaghetti or meatloaf or something, you know. Tuna.
That sounds good.
Salad or whatever. Some people don't like tuna.
I don't like tuna.
No, I don't like tuna.
I don't.
With you guys.
I love tuna.
I
don't like it.
Tuna. Okay.
I'm the weird one.
It's funny because I work at I don't know if you know Pillars, but I work at a sport fishing landing, so I have.
See, I knew Wolf Mother and I were going to be friends.
He's Wolf Mother. You're wrong.
You gotta get the good.
You are wrong.
You gotta get the good tuna, man. You can't
The
just
shit that
cheap...
comes in the foil pack, not the shit in the can.
Or you get fresh tuna. Fresh tuna right off the boats. Come off the boats and say, hey, do you want some tuna? Yeah, sure. I'll take some tuna. I mean,
tuna that weigh like 10 pounds.
Yeah, well, we've caught a few 300-pounders this year. Like, it's been an amazing year for us for that part, for the fishing part of it. But it's been a weird.
It makes you wonder, like, how they get so big. Like, holy shit.
They eat everything. They eat absolutely everything. Like,
you said, how many pounds?
We caught some 300-pound plus fish here. I think one of them was 330. Was the biggest one we caught.
That's like an eagle-sized tuna. If you want to put it in perspective, like.
Yeah.
I know you haven't seen me in person yet, but like I'm as big as that fish was.
Well,
probably not as tall, but like.
Well, a lot of them tend to be like really thick. Like they're not necessarily like my boss caught a 325-pounder on one of his trips, and it's hanging on the wall at work. So
you couldn't lift it. Like you'd have to have like 5 people lift it.
Yeah, that's what they do. They have multiple people gaffing it and bring it onto the boat. Yeah, there's no way you're lifting that by yourself.
Man.
How does it not tip the boat over? Like, holy shit.
Well, I mean, it's the boat he was on was like a 118-foot boat or 120-foot boat.
Oh, so yeah. Okay, it might be hard to tip one of those.
Yeah,
but...
they weren't in a little skiff. They were in a big sport boat. But yeah, some of those little boats, I'd be like, dude, you bring that in there. It's like, you just added an extra person to your boat for the way home.
You're gonna sink the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's
so did you like what I did to the channel?
Yeah, I've got to go update my stuff. I haven't had a chance to yet, but nice panel.
Sweet bourbon glasses.
Yeah. Who was it? There was someone that I just got gifted a sub to. I'm gonna have to steal their remote.
It's frowned upon.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole because like I'll start bitching and then I won't stop.
I just want to show you the emote because I was like, that's perfect for us.
Okay. I'm waiting on an emote. Let's see if I got it yet.
They had like a week off there where they didn't approve any emotes.
Yeah, what was
because I had to get one. They're all reeling from the ramifications of Ninja leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, a little whiskey glass.
Whimsky.
We need to do something like that.
Whimsky. Yep. I don't think nothing tops this though. This one's probably the best that you've ever done.
I was in 79's stream today.
Yeah.
And he's doing the shirts.
Ones are awesome.
That one's the best. Like that one's better than yours, in my own opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Hers is by far the best one.
They're just so good.
But
that one, the Bab.
Yeah, Bab was in 79's stream, and we 79 both have all the dirt, so we posted that up there, and I was like, oh no, you know. And I was telling her, I'm like, probably by the end of the stream, the charity stream, I will have all those tattooed on me. And she's like, oh God, you know. And she's like, she's like, I can't believe you're gonna do that, you know. But I asked her, I'm like, I'm gonna get all those tattooed. Will you sign them, and I'm gonna get your signature tattooed under them? And she's like, sure. I think she thinks I'm crazy, but such good emotes. Screechy's is the best, though. I think.
It's yeah. My friend, I have a friend that speed runs Super Mario 64, and he has some really good ones, like this one, the Waluigi
Nice.
with the
Yeah.
derpy eyes. Like that's a good one.
Did Bab do these?
Durs.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did all 4 of those.
Nice.
Fart knocks are all broccoli, just pointing
Yes,
different ways.
direction. Broccoli.
That's what they are. Like, see, they just
he's got the horns. This one's I really like this one. I've been using
yeah.
this one.
I feel like every Rocksmith streamer needs horns. Like I
Yeah.
don't have horns yet.
But
my next emote will be horns.
I mean, that one, I guess she's doing horns. Not a straight horns one, but close enough.
The Agretsuko. I tried it. I gave it a go. Couldn't get into it.
What?
I'm not a huge anime fan, if I'm being completely honest. I never really got into anime. There's a lot of good anime, don't get me wrong. I just never got into it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to clarify.
Yeah,
There's very good anime.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just never really got into it. I love Miyazaki films. I love Howl's Moving Castle. All those.
I like
just
Afro
but
Samurai.
But shows like Dragon Ball Z, Agretsuko, like I just never got into them.
Yeah. But like
Sorry.
Ball Z was too. They just prolong. It's too much bull crap in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much of it that there's gonna be some bad ones, definitely. Yeah, it's for me. The first one I ever watched was Robotech when it first came to the US, and that was like in 384. And that's when it's and after that, I was like, oh, that was really good. It was such a cool series. And for me, it wasn't so much the animation. Like looking back and watching it now, I'm like, okay, the animation was better than most of the American stuff you saw at that time. It's still kind of okay.
I don't know. I get to a point where like I can't watch dubbed shows.
Yes.
Like I would just rather have subtitles.
Well, the thing with me, all the Miyazaki ones is that they usually have multiple different dubs, and they actually do a really good job.
Yeah, those are to me like that's why I liked them so much is that they were dubbed really well and they were synced up really well. But like the Dragon Ball Z stuff's not. And I just
a lot of the newer ones are designed specifically to work with dubs too. You like seeing more of those where you're like, okay, it works. Versus the old stuff that had no intention of ever being dubbed and it just doesn't work, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think the biggest thing with that was after having watched like Transformers and G.I. Joe and all that stuff where nobody dies. If they die, they're a robot, so it's okay, you know. But in G.I. Joe, like a plane gets blown up, nobody dies. The guy parachutes out no matter what, you know. In Robotech, like, oh, I really like this character. And all of a sudden
it was for the kids, man. Like they can't show people dying.
But Robotech did it. Like one of my favorite characters all of a sudden died, and I was like,
it's like Japanese kids and American kids are different though. Like they're different cultures, so like they're probably brought up to be like they know about death very early on, whereas like American kids probably don't know about, you know. Just that's culture. It's a culture thing,
especially in the 70s and 80s, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that was definitely a turning point for me where I'm like, they just killed my favorite character. What is this? You know, it was like revolutionary to 8-year-old me or 7-year-old me, whatever I was at the time. I'm like,
wow. Now you watch Game of Thrones and you're like, oh shit, everybody dies in this show.
Yeah, I had to stop watching that show. It just got to the point where I'm like, there's a difference between, hey, any one of the characters, nobody's safe, anyone can die, versus I'm not even gonna get attached to any character because they're probably gonna die. And I was like, I'm done with it.
Well, like for me, like that's kind of why I liked it so much, is because like, I mean, spoiler alert, you watched season 1, right?
Yeah, I watched the first. I watched up to the Viper fight, and after that, I was like, I'm done.
So, like, spoiler alert to anybody who's listening, you know, Game of Thrones is kind of revolutionary to me and for TV to kill off their main character. Like, they did the whole season 1 with Ned Stark as the main character.
Yeah.
And then he
Right.
dies, right? And then you're just like, now what? And I'm just like, this is some brilliant writing. Like, to me, that's like was revolutionary because like you don't just kill off your main character in your first season. Where are you gonna go?
But
You know?
season 1 was good because they did. But then it got to the point where it's like, hey, that worked. Let's kill everyone. You know, where you're like, there's a point where it just didn't seem to.
I said spoiler alert. I don't want to hear the bitching in the chat. I said it. Y'all had plenty of time to mute. So like,
It didn't feel like it contributed to the story anymore. After a point, I was like, all right, this is just killing people just because, hey, people, you know, let's shock. You know, it's like a failed shock thing where I'm like, I don't care anymore. I don't
I don't
care.
think it's failed though.
I don't care.
I mean,
Well,
you and I could argue this all day.
no, to me, it was like, you've made it to where I don't care about any of the characters. Like, I don't care about them anymore because that's like, it went too far. Like, I get it. It's a dangerous world. I totally get that. And anyone can die. That makes sense. But if you made it to where I don't care about any of your characters, I had no desire to watch the show anymore. And that was just me. You know,
That's
and
like The Walking Dead.
yeah, see, I never got into The Walking Dead. That's kind of the
I
same
watched
thing,
a lot
right?
of The Walking Dead, and I watched it all the way up until like 2 years ago. Are you still watching it, or did you quit watching it, Pillars?
Yeah, I don't really care.
Okay, so spoiler alert again. Walking Dead. The main reason why I stopped watching Walking Dead was when they killed off Carl, because the writers just
Yeah.
basically fired him. They were just like, "Oh well, you don't have anything else for we don't have anything else for you, so you're going to die this season."
Yeah,
And
that
the
happened.
actor that played him was like, I felt like he was done badly, and he even has went out and said lots of stuff about it. Somebody getting a call?
No?
That
I don't think so.
was me.
No.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so like when they killed off Carl, I kind of lost a lot of respect for the show because the show hadn't really been going anywhere for me for the last like year, and that for me was what nailed the coffin shut was when they did that. So I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to watch it anymore. It sucks. No, nobody gives a
Yeah.
shit. AMC's made way too much money on it, and they know they have, and they basically can put whatever they want with a zombie in it and
Yeah.
scoop up
There's
all the
7
cash.
seasons or something. It's kind of like Supernatural. Man,
Oh, that's another one that went on forever.
Yeah.
I think they're still going on. Man,
Like 13 seasons or something.
I think
I
it's at
watched the
like
first season,
4.
and then I just kind of stopped. Yeah, that show, like I said, has been on forever.
Oh yeah, it was good for a while. Like the first. I would say it got better, but eventually they hit a point where it was just like, what are they gonna do? You know, and then they just. Okay, but it was like didn't really have much desire. Like still like I haven't watched much of anything for a while.
What you should watch is The Expanse.
Expanse. We will both pimp The Expanse. Definitely worth watching.
It's by far some of the best sci-fi on television.
And
Period.
I'm really excited to see what Amazon does with it.
I'll write that down.
I think sci-fi royally screwed up there. Like,
I wouldn't blame Sci-Fi for that one. Like, I won't blame them because it wasn't
you
just
won't?
Sci-Fi. It was Sci-Fi was in doing it along with Alcon, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so and they didn't have like rights to a lot of the rebroadcast stuff. So they were very limited on what they could do. The fact they kept alive as long as they did was actually fairly impressive. But
And I think the reason why I like it so much is that there's no comedy in it whatsoever. It's strictly political, and it's smart.
By Tor.
It's just brilliant. It's brilliant sci-fi. It's. I'm telling you, you need to watch it or read the books because there's like 6 books. And after I watched the first season, I destroyed all the books within 6 months.
I haven't read any of the books, and I've kind of decided that I'm not going to.
Man,
You don't need to because they're so close. They're so close to the books.
And that's
like
why
you don't really need to.
Yeah, And it's
They're
interesting.
very faithful to the books.
From what I understand, they combine some of the characters and they just shift some of the storyline around. I get that, and I'm okay with that. But it's interesting too that the writers themselves kind of talked about it, and they said that they're actually taking advantage of it to fix stuff. Where they're like, "Oh, we didn't like the way that was done. We're going to make it better." So it's like it's kind of interesting to see that they are involved in the show completely. So any changes that are made to it from the books are with the author's approval. Like they are completely involved in it, which is actually really
it's so cool.
Unlike
And I feel like if Martin, unlike Game of Thrones, I feel like if Martin had like invested more time with the show, and I mean honestly though, like even Martin even put out a statement after the last season aired and was like, "Hey, I wanted to go 3 more seasons. There's more story to tell, but they didn't want to." And when you have the show's writer and creator to come out and say that, you know it's bad. Like, you know he was pissed how the last season turned out. Because D&D had the Star Wars theme playing in their heads and they wanted out and they got out. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the last like season 8 like has some of the like visually and some of the most visually like stunning TV I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong, it looked absolutely phenomenal. All the CG and all the special effects and stuff, some of the best I've ever seen. But like the writing and the story was just like they're like, all right, we got 6 episodes, we got to wrap this whole bullshit up. We got to do it fast.
Some of it's his own fault though, because
is it though?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
If the TV show passes by your books because you can't write a book in a decade, your own fault. It's out of your control at that point. If
he knows how the story is going to end,
then
right?
why didn't he write the books?
Well, he's busy. Okay, no, I don't know. He's like what? I think he's a lazy turd too. Like, don't get me wrong, but like he had the roadmap of how the story was going to end.
Right.
So like he could have worked with the showrunners and been like,
"That's what I'm saying.
Here's how it's going to end. We need 3 more seasons. Y'all got to do this shit my way." But he didn't care. He was just like,
"That's
all right."
That's exactly what I mean. It's his own fault. He didn't bother.
I got really busy for a decade. Yeah. Exactly, Portnoy.
Exactly. If you're not going to write your own story and you're not going to be involved in it, you can't get mad if they don't do something you don't like.
Well, like he wasn't mad with that. He was mad at the fact that they didn't want to go further to end it the way he wanted it to.
Yeah, he should have been
so
involved.
Like it wasn't all his fault. It was their fault too. It's like it was a little like half and half there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough. Although I think the one I'm really excited for that's kind of in the same vein was the Wheel of Time series. I don't know if you've read that, the Robert Jordan series.
Those are going to Amazon, right?
I believe so. Finally. I mean, but that was another one where it was like at least he was pretty consistent. He took 2 or 3 years between each book. You know,
is he still alive?
No, he died before the series finished.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and Brandon Sanderson finished it, and he actually did a really good job. But he had the support from the family, from Robert Jordan's wife, and just an insane amount of notes to on how
many more books were there left before he died?
2 or 3. I can't remember how many Sanderson.
So not many.
Well, in a 13.
Well, about the same as Martin, right? Because there's only supposed to be 2 more books of Game of Thrones,
something like that. But it's like everyone was laughing. They're like,
but Martin's old ass is still alive. So what's his excuse?
He's gonna die before it gets made. Like
that's what I keep saying, and I'm like, that's so mean, but it's true.
No, it's like do something. Then you don't want to don't like the way it's being done. But yeah, like I said, some of those series, and one thing that's kind of nice is the way that a lot of these studios are handling this stuff, where it's like, hey, we're not going to try to make a movie for a 13-book series. We're going to make a TV show out of it, because you can't really address some of those books. They're like super long books in one movie. That just doesn't work. I'm kind of glad that they're some of these studios are doing it the way.
I really liked Punisher, the series that it was on Netflix, I think, right?
I haven't watched it yet.
It's actually pretty good.
That's what I hear, and we always laughed about that because it's like Punisher should be the one series that Marvel should have got right from the start, or whoever is doing the movie should have got right from the start. Yet almost every
Marvel, I think.
Yeah, every Punisher movie was terrible. I'm like, it's he's basically an action hero. He's basically
The one
Rambo.
with the one
Dolph
with Thomas
Lundgren.
Jane.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
yeah, and who's in The Expanse. And
Yeah, but he's actually really good in The
he's
Expanse.
amazing in The Expanse. But
He's
it's
a
like,
great actor, but like he was just not. He was totally miscast to play the Punisher. Because like the Punisher in the comic books, he's like this giant, like G.I. Joe looking guy.
to be fair, Dolph Lundgren wasn't very well suited for it either. Apparently, it's like
No.
how that one show that's basically an action movie. How do you mess it
Yeah.
up so bad so many times? You know, one thing
I
you
feel
guys should be
like they
good at.
got the I feel like they got the casting right though with the TV show on Netflix because that's the guy that played Shane on The Walking Dead, right?
I've
So like
heard,
I felt like he's perfect.
I've heard
He
good
plays
things.
the role really well.
I
Frank Castle.
might
He's
have,
so angry.
might have to check it out because I actually have a Punisher one somewhere. I'll have to see where I have the first Punisher comic book. You know,
So like what are some of your favorite comics shows, pillars, if you watch any?
I was gonna say Daredevil was another one that I liked from
Yeah.
Netflix. I think it was Netflix. I am Batman through and through. That's
Me too, dude.
I don't I kind of despise Superman.
I'm on board.
Superman's a weenie.
He's just too OP and
OP.
it's just
He really is. It's like there's a point where like they just have to make up these ridiculous scenarios for him to be vulnerable. Like, yeah, I'm all totally on board with you. Batman's
yeah.
awesome though.
Green Arrow shoots him with a kryptonite arrow, and that's when Batman actually took Superman down. Was like, hey, you are vulnerable. I could end you now, but
What's
yeah,
awesome about Batman is that Batman's not a superhero.
He's not a mutant. Yeah.
He's not a mutant. He's human.
Well, that's
I mean,
what,
granted, he has some psychological problems, but like he has gadgets and stuff like that. Like he doesn't have superpowers. He can't fucking fly.
but
yeah,
except for
is is
He's
is,
split personality, like textbook split personality disorder.
but
Yeah.
except for Superman, that's most DC heroes. They don't really do the mutant thing like Marvel does, and that's why it was a kind of mistake when they started trying to compete with Marvel. One thing that DC does really well is kind of that horror, darker type of, you know,
Yeah, but a
almost
lot of the
anti-hero.
DC films are shit compared to the Marvel
That's what
films.
I'm saying. They're
so-
trying, instead of playing to their strengths and doing those things, like you're doing like a Sandman or something like that. You know, it's like doing the darker movies. They try to do the Marvel thing, and it's like, no, that's not what you guys are good at. That's not why anybody reads.
But like what Portnoy said, like Batman and Iron Man, right? So like they're always fighting. You know, who's the better superhero, Batman, Iron Man? Well, you got like
Man.
Iron Man is like a complete polar opposite mentally to Batman. Like Iron Man is this like playboy philanthropist that like
Yep, he's
you
just
know,
a man.
and like Batman's not. Batman is also like a rich guy, but he's broken, and Iron Man isn't. So like to me,
he's rich broken, which
Yeah.
is like just
but he never really he never wanted his father's estate. He didn't want all of that.
I think he'd rather have his parents.
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think he'd
Right.
rather. Yeah, Sandman would make an awesome movie.
Oh man, the Sandman was. Are you? Oh wait, no. Let Neil Gaiman is some. Okay, yeah,
Neil
sorry.
Neil. My
Yeah,
big
Sandman was a cool villain.
Yeah, my biggest issue with Batman is my same issue with Spider-Man. Stop redoing their origin story. We
Yeah,
get it.
please. We get it. We know how it goes.
Don't
Yes.
start everything over with every movie. Continue the
Yeah.
story. Keep going. You know, same with Spider-Man. I'm not really upset that they're like, oh, we're down with Spider-Man. I'm like, you know, it's like
It makes you think that, like, do you think they do that for kids? Because, like, there's so many new generations of kids that are seeing these films and they don't know the story.
no,
But I feel like that should fall back on the parents. Like,
no,
hey, we're going to go see this movie and here's what it's about.
because it's not
Here's
like
the story.
they don't make one Spider-Man movie every generation. They make one every few years and redo it. It's
Well, they're not
like,
making any more Spider-Man films.
Well,
Let's go ahead and talk about that since you brought that up.
there might
Are
be,
you
but it's just not in the
what?
MCU.
Yeah, they're not
Hey,
making as of right now. They're not making any more. Right now, Spider-Man's not coming back to the MCU.
Yeah, 'cause
It was official. The guy that plays Spider-Man now actually really put out a official tweet, and said, "That's it,
yeah.
like no more."
But I mean, that doesn't
Because
mean Sony can't do some.
Sony has the rights to Spider-Man,
Yep.
and Disney and Sony got into it. Tom Holland, yeah, thank you. They got into it, and it's all over money. Like, as if Disney doesn't have enough money. Like,
I know
come on.
Fox had a hand in some of the like X-Men and stuff too.
Fox has got X-Men, Deadpool, what else? But Disney, I think, bought that from Fox. So like now Disney has those. They're not
Oh
Fox
my
anymore.
gosh! Wow.
Yeah. So they're trying to get all the superheroes, right? They're
They
trying to
have
get the Spider-Man IP from Sony.
Disney has
And
X-Men.
they do now. Yep.
Oh my
As of
gosh!
like a year ago, they do.
Wow.
So like now they're wanting to do another Deadpool film, and Disney's like, there's no need to make another R-rated Deadpool film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
That was the nice thing about Netflix doing a lot of those shows, is that they would do darker ones. Like
But that's why they re-released Deadpool back into theaters, Deadpool 2 back into theaters last year after Disney bought it and made a PG-13 cut of it.
like
Wow.
Like,
but
yeah.
you look at something like Daredevil or Jessica Jones, it's like those are dark series that are still in the universe. Like so all these that
Jessica Jones, so
yeah,
good.
all these ones that they're not releasing into theaters, and I think that's where DC drops the ball. They try to compete with Marvel on that ground. It's like, no, you should be doing the R-rated, gruesome, dark, scary horror type movies, not the superhero, Saturday morning cartoon ones.
I'm telling you, the R-rated Wolverine film, so good.
Right.
Yes.
It is one of my favorites. Like, it's so good.
His character needs to be R-rated.
Hell yeah, he hacks people up in that shit.
And is that Logan?
Yeah, Logan.
Yeah, it was really good.
He's got a dark past. He's got mental problems.
Oh, Portnoy, you gotta see it. It's brilliant. I loved it.
I haven't seen it yet either, so no
you gotta see it, boys. Please watch it. It's so good.
No spoilers on that one.
I really like that actor. What's his name?
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. He's fucking awesome.
And he's getting old too. So like the Logan film is based off the Old Man Logan comics. I don't know if you guys have read those.
No,
but
I don't think so.
I know what you're talking about.
That's what they're based off of. And like he's Wolverine. He's old. He's like doesn't want to do crime anymore or fight crime anymore. Yeah, it's really good stuff. Like, please watch it and read the comics.
I was a huge comic book fan, and by the time all these movies came out, it's like I never go see movies anymore. I'm so far behind on the Marvel universe. I'm so far behind, and this is stuff that like I dreamed about when I was a teenager. Like I would be the kid going to the comic book store every time I got my allowance and buying the latest issue of all the comics I read. Go to Comic-Con every year, volunteering at Comic-Con. That's what I did. And I am so far behind now, and I'm like, 15-year-old me would kick my ass for it. It's like, what are you doing?
I feel like, sadly, comic book stores are a thing of the past now.
Yeah,
really, it's really sad because like there's so much good art and storytelling in comics, and it's just the digital era has pretty much wiped out comics, and it's really sad.
The gas station close by me when I was like,
did I have the rack with the comics?
Whatever. Yeah, they would have some. My dad would buy them. I don't know what happened. I had a stash of Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, different and I don't know what happened to them. No idea.
And they're probably sitting on a gold mine somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. They got lost somewhere in a move or something. Got thrown away. I have no idea.
It's like those 58 Les Pauls that are still unaccounted for that are probably in somebody's attic or basement.
In grandma's attic. Yeah.
It's just sitting there that are $1 million Les Pauls. Yeah, sitting behind the couch.
Sitting behind the couch, and I heard a story like that. Somebody got
that was your granddad's guitar. You can have it, Timmy.
Right?
Timmy
like,
opens up a 1958 Les Paul Standard.
Les Paul gave it to him.
Yeah, he even signed it here. I don't know who this is. His name's Les something. I can't make it out. It wore off over time.
No. Yeah.
Oh, so like when I went to Chicago a couple of years ago for work, I'm still kicking myself in the ass for it, but I didn't go to Chicago Music Exchange. And I don't know if you guys follow their YouTube channel. They always demo like really cool old guitars, and they
Yeah.
had a 59 in the store when I was there. I could have actually seen and maybe possibly played $1 million Les Paul.
That'd been nice. They wanted to let you
Uh,
play it.
They
Wow.
probably would have. I mean, like I have good credit.
Yeah.
But
They're like, oh, we've seen your stream. Of course you can play it.
like I'm still kicking myself in the ass for that I didn't actually go, because we had walked all the way up and down the damn, what they call it, the Magnificent Mile, all day, and I was worn out. I could have taken an Uber and been there in like 7 minutes, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm still kicking myself in the ass for that.
So,
One day.
Speaking of guitars and guitar and all that, Wolf Mother was asking today if we could do a Guitar Factory tour when everyone's out here for TwitchCon. And I was trying to find out. I'm going to call Kaisel tomorrow and see if they do that. Like, I know that
That'd be cool.
Parvin used to do it. They used to do factory tours. But I don't know if Kaisel still does it. And Kaisel's actually a bit further north now than Parvin was. But like,
Oh man,
Game Brain's going to be here. He plays your guitars. You should let us, go tour the factory.
Is that what he plays? Is it a Carvel?
Kaisel now, which used to be Carvin.
His guitar that he plays, the one with no headstock on it, it's a pretty cool looking guitar.
He got a new one, and it's actually really nice.
I want to get an Ormsby, but they are way too expensive. It's like it's like paying mayonnaise or tasteful. It's
That's what a Dunby has. She has an arms.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I think does Bagel Spiders have one? Or does
Bagel has one?
Yeah. They're really nice guitars. I think a Dunby waited almost a year for hers or something ridiculous like that. Some insane amount of time.
Yeah, they're.
She didn't pay for it.
Her subs paid for it.
Yep.
I need to put me up a donation goal. For this damn new guitar. I mean, I love this. This Ibanez is.
That's your daily driver, that one?
Sick. Yeah, it is. RGA.
What's the weight on that thing? It looks really light.
Oh, it's super light. I don't even know. I'd have to look it up.
That's what I'm saying. I can't play these like 8-pound Les Pauls anymore. I'm gonna have to get something lighter. I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm gonna have to get an SG.
I'm looking. Kaisel has a factory showroom. I'll have to see if they do like a factory tour.
I'm down for the bonfire on the beach. I feel like that's
cool too.
Gonna be pretty cool.
Let's see, what's the weight on?
Then the other company that's actually pretty close here is Taylor. Oh, nice, Wolf Mother. That'd been nice. Taylor Guitars, they do factory tours. I think they do them almost every day. I think
we should see if they'll donate one.
I already did. I filled out their donation form and sent it to them. So, Brian, I sent one to Kaisel, to Sir, to Taylor, Fender, Gibson.
I played a Sir guitar one time.
Dude,
and
those guitars are so
liked
nice.
it. Yeah. I really liked it.
They're super expensive.
The one I played wasn't, and it sounded like $1 million. And like, I feel stupid for not buying it because it is a really good guitar. It was like a Super Strat.
Yeah,
but it had like a humbucker in the bridge and like single coil in the neck and the bridge in the middle. That was a damn nice guitar.
Was it humbucker, single humbucker, or single humbucker?
I think it was single humbucker.
So probably their standard. I think is that.
It was a really cool guitar.
Really nice
guitar. It was a blue, flamey top on it. Really cool. Maple neck.
They do some cool effects too.
Why can I not get the weight on this? I can get every spec but the weight.
Sorry, I asked.
It's gotta be. I know it's like.
Which one, Portnoy? The Airline Resonator? Such cool guitars, though. All those Resonator guitars are really cool. I mean, obviously they serve a specific purpose. You're not gonna be playing metal with them, but pretty cool guitars.
Yeah, playing Ghost songs with the Telecaster sounded kind of weird. Not gonna lie. It's too bright.
It's just the pickups.
Yeah, it is a quacky bridge pickup, dude.
Yeah.
I will say the neck pickup on a telly is really good for like a lot of clean stuff, warm tones.
Actually, the last Rocksmith stream we did, which has been a while.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It's been a weird week with getting ready for school and jazz and all that. It's been a kind of a busy week also.
Yeah.
Hopefully after this next week we'll get back on track. But I actually
78 Rickenbacker 4001.
Oof.
Do it.
Yeah, get it. Then stream.
Yep.
I actually played the Phantoman for the whole stream, and I think I finally found, like, generally that guitar is pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy guitar, but I think I finally found a good balance where it was at the right height, it was comfortable to play, and like 2 hours later, I was like, okay, it didn't wear me out this time. So sometimes I think it's just balancing the guitars right. And I was like, if you have it too high or too low, yeah, this is my guitar.
Like,
No, we don't want to see you. We want to see your guitar.
He just sits there like this, like
Yeah, my guitar.
Yeah, so there.
This is mine.
Costs like $4,000. It's like so here.
So
I don't have my audience laughter, but
laugh track
mapped yet. Yeah, I'll have to map it for next time. I have the rim shot. I have the sad trombone, the Darth Vader one.
Only Ibanez we have right now. Actually, the hardcore one. Her jazz guitar, my jazz guitar. She took. But
Lotus had to drop that in there. He's like,
Yeah.
it's actually mine.
I play her guitars, and she. But they make some really nice guitars. Like some of those Iron Core ones or the Iron Label, whatever they are. Those are really. I like some Ibanez.
Iron labels. Yeah. I cannot find the weight on this. What the heck?
Sorry, I even asked, dude. It's fine. It's okay. I'm gonna assume it weighs like 6 pounds.
I know it's got to say it on Amazon.
If it's an Ibanez, it's probably pretty light.
Yeah, it's probably 5 or 6 pounds.
9.95 pounds.
That's heavy.
No way.
Well,
Really?
that's the ship weight. That's the ship weight.
That's with the box and all the shit in it in the case. So probably between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Which is a nice weight.
When that Les Paul traditional I had that I sold, I weighed it. It was like right at 10 pounds. It was heavy. It wasn't weight relieved or anything. It was just like a solid slab of mahogany. That's probably why I'm so stooped over now, because I had that guitar for over a year. I played it so damn much.
I used to it.
I miss it.
Now you walk like this.
I walk like that anyway, but the guitar made it worse. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to like go easy on me when I get to California, because Fatty's gonna have to take breaks every now and then. Just saying. And plus, if you're gonna be feeding me like California burritos and In-N-Out and all this shit, it's just gonna make it worse. I'm just saying.
Pillars knows. Have you had a California burrito, Pillars?
No, I do not think so.
Carne asada burrito.
Pillars is gonna come next year. He's gonna come next year.
Yeah, I'll have to set up.
I wonder where it's gonna be next year.
Dude.
Save up.
2020.
I'm hoping they leave it in San Diego every year. Works for Comic-Con. Why not for TwitchCon, right?
And like the San Diego Convention Center is like the biggest on the West Coast. So I'm like, they're stupid to not have it there every year.
Yeah, why would you go to Long Beach when you can be in San Diego, right?
Did they do it in Long Beach last year?
No, yeah. 2 years ago?
Yeah. The first year they did it? No, like 3 years ago?
San Diego, Long Beach, Jose, and then back to San Diego. I don't know where they did it besides that. It's like I said, I mean, if there's one thing the convention center does well, it's host conventions, surprisingly.
Man, that's a long... man.
Yeah, I'm not excited about the flight. Because I have to fly from...
How much was it?
The flight? I bought my flight in like March, so it was like $400. It's like the earlier you book flights, the cheaper they are.
400.
It might have been 450. It was like 450.
There and back, or is that?
Yeah, that's round trip.
Not too bad at all.
It was like $225 each way. It wasn't horrible, but yeah. And the we all are staying together in Airbnb that we all split. So It's not going to cost me too much, so I'm pretty excited. I had a budget. I was like, I'm only going to go if it costs under this much.
3 California burritos a day can add up.
Yeah, I'd say they're like $12, $13.
Is that
Boy.
like Chipotle, pretty much?
Hey, Rocktism.
Hey, Rocktism, how are you?
No, dude, this is like Chipotle on steroids from the way he keeps discussing it.
Chipotle is its own thing. It's not like
Diarrhea.
Taco Bell, where you don't say, I want Mexican food, let's go to Taco Bell. But it's not the same as like going and getting... The thing here is like one of those things where you talk about things like the best Mexican food. Young Gun claims that Austin has the best Mexican food. Whatever.
No,
Tex-Mex,
can't
blah, blah.
be.
But the difference here is that you can...
He claims that they have the best Mexican food. I'm just like, I don't think so.
You can actually just like, basically you drive a block, taco stand. Drive another block, taco stand. Drive another block. It's like there's so many places you can go. You can go pretty much anywhere and the Mexican food is going to be good. You know, it's like, I'm not going to say that everything here is the best. But there's like no really bad places. It's like, it's just kind of its own thing. And that, like I said, that Southern California Mexican food is its own thing. Like, it's not the same thing you're going to find going to like Southern Mexico or, you know, going to the Yucatan or something like that. It's its own thing. But I think this is kind of what we talked about with when Young Gun was talking about the Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is a fusion of the people in Texas, the people in Mexico. You know, it's like kind of like it's its own thing, like two different whatever cuisines they're fusing. While like Southern California Mexican food is its own thing made by Mexicans living in Southern California. It's not like combining Mexican food with American food or something like that.
But like San Diego's like right there on the border, so like you know it's gonna have legit Mexican food.
Yeah, and to be honest, like
that's what I'm pretty excited for. Like I want to have some legit Mexican food.
Yeah, you'll get it for sure. And it's not like, you know, you go to Northern Baja and that food is the same as you go to Oaxaca. They're different foods. Mexico is a huge country. But you get, like I said, it's people coming from the Mexican culture making Mexican food. A hybrid cuisine. And then, of course, then you got like Rubio's that started here, which is also its own thing, but still Mexican. It's just like Southern fried chicken, American food. You know, and then you go a clam bacon Boston, Mexican food or American food. It's like they're just different types of American.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken?
No, okay, like I live in Kentucky and I've lived here for over 10 years. KFC's KFC. I'm sorry. It all tastes the same. It's all
the Taco Bell of chicken.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Like, but if you want some good, like, if you want to call it Kentucky Fried Chicken, you go to a local joint that you know makes it every day fresh. There's a drive-in or a diner, you know, it's a drive-in in Lexington called Parquet, and they make their own homemade fried chicken and fried fish every day. And to me, is like that is more Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Do we have a shout out?
I love fried fish.
I don't think so. No. Good like Southern fried fish. Yeah, like Parquet. They call it fit. They sell them. They're called fish boxes. You get like two pieces of fried fish and some fries for like $5, and they're still $5. And they give you homemade tartar sauce. It's legit. It's good stuff.
I think last was probably a fish fry. Yeah, I think that's probably the only place I've really had fried fish. Like fish.
But then, like, if you go overseas and you get fish and chips, it's like totally different. It's oh man, I love some good like Ireland's fish and chips. Oh my god!
Oh, we're gonna have to do that white whale challenge.
Let's go. I'm down. I ate so much fish and chips in Ireland. It's a wonder I didn't come back with mercury poisoning. Like I had it like at least one meal every day. I was there, and I was there for like 2 weeks. That and all the Guinness that I drank. God, dude. I put on 10 pounds just in Guinness.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Ever had Guinness?
Nope.
It's the best beer ever.
Disagree.
You can have like 3 Guinnesses and it's a meal. Like you don't have to eat.
I'm not really a beer drinker.
Oh, okay. Well, that's your loss. That's your problem.
I'm not a big fan of.
No, he said beer in general.
I've tried like, I mean, trust me, I've had my fair share of beer drinking, but uh,
I
I
think we all have. It's
I
fine.
just I think it's because of my body side. Like, I'd rather just take a couple shots or whatever
Oops.
and be good, rather than sit there and like have to drink all this beer. And then
Old
I'm like,
fashioned bot.
Yeah.
Shout out shout out Pillars too. Yeah,
But-
Pillars, you could have broadcasted this on your channel. We forgot to tell you. Oh, by the way,
what?
you can still host it. You can host it if you want. It's not over.
Let's see here. I did put an announcement in my Discord.
Oh, nice. I didn't even do that. So.
Oh shit, I didn't either. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I was a little bit behind today. Yeah, I'm kind of on board Pillars. I'm not a huge beer fan.
What?
I not that I don't hate beer. I'll drink a beer, but
Right. Yeah.
I'd rather have an old fashioned. Rather
I mean, I
have.
would too, but like,
Yeah.
I like a
Yeah.
good beer too. Like a good beer, like a good craft beer.
Well,
Oh, man.
you'll find plenty of those out here.
Yeah,
Plenty.
that's the plan.
Plenty of crap. Yeah, crap beer.
I did make an announcement on the YouTube channel that is officially up now. I worked on that today. I was telling Pillars earlier, I never knew in a how long it takes to upload a damn YouTube video.
Right.
It took like 2 hours.
Especially if it's high quality.
I mean, granted, it was like 3.5 hours long, our last podcast. So yeah, I knew it was going to take a while. But, and I will say, Twitch's thing to download your VODs sucks. Like I had to mess with it.
It is.
It's awful.
I don't know how much, or if Chainbrain's doing himself. Man, that's some work.
Yeah.
So like I had to download it. That took an hour because it was like 4.5 gigs. And it was probably on their end that it took an hour because I have fast internet. It shouldn't have taken an hour to download 4 gigs. Okay. And then I had to upload it to YouTube. So that took an hour and a half, 2 hours to upload it. And I got all the way to the end and it was like 95% processing. And I got an error message and it said, your account's not verified. We can't upload this long video unless you verify your account. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Verify your.
So then I had to go verify, do the text message thing that it was legit.
Oh, okay.
And then it was like, there was one other step, another hoop I had to jump through. It was like, go to your studio and click activate video because it was already uploaded. They just had to like release it. And then I had to finish processing after that. And then that took like another half hour after that. So I was just like, Jesus, this episode is going up. I'm just going to be like, download one night, go to bed. And then when I get home from work, upload again, you know.
Fair, that's a pretty big video too.
It was like 3.5 hours long.
You might be able to like, I use a program called VSDC. It's a free like video converter and whatnot, and I usually use that whenever I upload stuff or make a video or whatever. I put it through.
So do you have your own YouTube channel, don't you?
Yeah.
So you do this a lot? Like I'd never done this before.
Yeah, I've done it quite a little bit. I would say like because the software VSDC, it'll basically ask you how you want to export it or whatever. So if you want it to be like for YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is, Facebook, you can like click that. So you can just click the YouTube, and then there's a couple different like profiles you can pick, like the frames or like the
Handbrake does that.
audio.
Mm-hmm.
I think Handbrake and VLC both do that.
I've used Handbrake before.
Yeah.
Back in the iPod days.
Yeah. they'll set it up specifically for certain types of whatever you're
Yeah,
uploading
Handbrake's a
to.
good program. But yeah, like Twitch has this thing where it has a button where you can just click export to YouTube. And I'm like, oh, sweet. So I
Right.
clicked on it and it didn't fucking work. So I'm like, okay. Then I clicked download and it just said preparing. And then I got stuck on that. Like I really had to mess with it. It took me like a constant hour of like clicking and clicking and clicking, just trying to get it. I'm
Is
like,
your
Twitch fixed it.
YouTube linked in your?
I don't think so.
Because I think I did that too. I uploaded through the Twitch, and it did work, but it didn't. I have a kind of a template of my videos. Like when I upload them, I have tags and stuff, and like description where it has like my links or whatever. Thanks for watching, all that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't add any of that. It'll just like put it in your YouTube, and you have to add all your stuff, which I guess that's not a huge deal, but
And like I said, yeah, I mean, 4 gigs is actually pretty big, but
It was like 4.5. I
Yeah.
think it was like 4.5.
but like I said, as far as downloading,
that's huge.
I just installed WoW on the second computer, and that was like
Of course you did.
60 or
I'm not
70
surprised.
gigs, and that took
Oh
And
like
that probably
it took like half an hour to download, if even that. So
that's what I'm saying. It's on Twitch's end.
yeah.
Like
All right.
that's a load of bullshit that it should not have taken an hour to download 4.5 gigs.
Yeah. No,
So-
I was hitting like 12 megabytes.
Like I said,
a second.
that's totally their fault, and they need to fix that shit. That's stupid.
Just don't like you. I'm fueled by bourbon. Get out of here.
Crap beer.
Well, I guess I'll be drinking beer by myself in California.
I highly doubt that. I don't believe that would be the case.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people that drink their fair share of beer.
I have no doubt.
It's almost overwhelming sometimes. Like that, I know we are talking about it before. The Slater's 50/50, where you go there and it's like, oh, I'll have a beer, and they have like 200 beers on tap, and you're like, what? I'm like, I have no idea what I want.
Those kinds of places, you kind of got to research and go in knowing what you want. You can't just sit there like an idiot. Like, you kind of have to do research before you go.
Yeah, or be like, okay, I don't want the IPA. I don't want the double IPA. Okay, this one looks good. It's like, yeah, narrow it down. But still, the first time you go and look at that, you're like, wait a second. There's that many beers in existence?
What is an IPA?
Indian Pale Ale?
Yeah,
that
pale
right?
ale. Yeah. It's made
They're
with
very, very
hoppy?
bitter. Yeah, they're very hoppy. If you like really hoppy beers, you like IPAs. They're also a lot stronger. So like you can drink like 5 of them and get kind of messed up because they're so strong. And they usually have higher alcohol content. They're very hoppy. I personally don't like them. I'd rather have a nice stout or a lager.
What would you say is the best tasting beer? Like just overall taste, just like the taste.
I personally like pale ales because they're not too strong. Like it's like they taste like beer, but they don't taste like overwhelming. Like Sam Adams is good. And together,
I don't like
Tan.
Boston Lager. I don't like Boston Lager.
Black and Sam, sorry.
Oh, Guinness and Sam.
Yeah.
Guinness is probably my favorite stout. If I had to pick a stout that I really liked. If I had to pick a beer that was just like, one of the main ones that you see everywhere, like Budweiser, Coors, those, I would pick Coors. I like Coors.
Really?
But,
Coors.
yeah, I like Coors Light. If I'm gonna drink shitty beer and just drinking it to get messed up, it'd be Coors Light. But if I want like a good like fancy beer, like a good tasting fancy beer, Guinness. But it has to be on tap.
Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
PBR.
Natty Ice.
We drank quite a few PBRs in college.
For me,
PBRs.
Like the ones I tend to go to the most are like the pale ales, like with the yellow tail. Or actually, they changed it. It was
Land Shark.
Let's see who. They
Is
had to
Land
change
Shark
the
a
name from
pale ale?
Yellowtail. It was called Amberjack. Stuff like that. Like I really like those pale ales, or the 394, which is a local company, and then like stuff like
Land Shark's lager.
the
Okay.
Newcastle, like the nut brown and stuff like that. I like those. They're kind of my favorite.
Newcastle Brown Ale is really good. I like it.
Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock's good.
No,
I like Rolling Rock.
I mean let's get on it. I'll be honest. I started with Mickey's. That was the first beers I drank. So it was all uphill from there.
The worst beer I had that I had overseas was Carlsberg. Have you heard of those?
Yes.
It literally tasted like Bud Light. I'm like, this tastes like shit.
The
Yeah.
Danish
really-
beers.
And it's gross.
See,
I'm
one weird thing
probably
I think
more
we
of a light beer drinker though myself, just because of how crap the ones.
I think one thing we've talked about is how some beers. Who were we talking about this with? Was it with Robbie? Some beers taste different depending on where you are. Like
Yeah.
having
Guinness for sure does. Like I can verify.
Yeah. And they actually make different Guinnesses for different places on purpose too.
Yeah.
Or like what's the one that comes in a green bottle?
Carlsberg.
Heineken.
Heineken.
Heineken, yeah. Like Heineken over here tastes terrible. Like I can't drink the Heineken over here, but then you go to Europe and it tastes a little bit. It's better, It's like they're just different ingredients when they're brewing them domestically.
Like in Dublin, when they pour you Guinness, they pour it with passion. Like they pour it and they're like, it'll be a minute. They got to let it sit. They actually let it settle before they even give it to you because it's
They do the knife on the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
they do.
You can have Guinness with your White Whale Challenge because Shakespeare's, they do the perfect pint. They're like certified for it, type thing.
I got certified to pour Guinness in the factory. I have a certificate hanging up in my bedroom. It was really cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
When
they teach you the right way to pour it because like you can't spill it over. It has to be in a Guinness glass. It has to be clean. You have to inspect it. Like you have to do everything. This is what you're supposed to do when you pour it. And then you pour it at the angle, then level it out, and then stop, and then just like
angle.
Yeah, and then like you have to let it sit a minute. And then if you overspill it, like if it runs over the glass, you're supposed to pour it out and start over. Like if it spills out of the glass, it's considered you're not supposed to serve it to the customer.
How much of that is legit?
It's legit. Like it's 100% legit over there. Like I can guarantee because they get very very particular how they pour it.
Could you actually tell the difference?
Yes, I could tell the difference. It tastes totally different on tap over here than it does over there.
I mean, as far as like, let's say someone was making it and they over poured it a bit and just cleaned the glass off and gave it to you. Could you tell the difference between that and the perfect pour?
No, but like it's like an etiquette thing. Like you're not supposed. Yeah, it's all etiquette. Like if somebody did that, like it wouldn't affect the taste.
Yeah,
but it's an etiquette thing. It really is because like if you, oh, it's so good. Now I want one. Damn it.
Yeah, they do that. We actually, back when SeaWorld was owned by Anheuser-Busch, they had the beer garden.
Back when SeaWorld was good.
Yeah, it used to be owned by Anheuser-Busch for a long time, and they had a beer garden there. So every time you go, you could go get your 2 free beers. Like that was part of your entrance.
Can't anymore. That's why it sucks now.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why it's not the same. Kidding. But they actually they called it beer school, where they'd go and they'd teach. I mean, it was basically a big advertisement for Anheuser-Busch beers. But they kind of did hey, this is how beers are made. This does this. They'd let you taste like, I think it was like a dozen different beers or something like that. And they'd have some that you couldn't, they weren't marketing yet. Like that weren't available yet, and Ms. Oswald and I did that. And we have our beer school diplomas. Like we should frame them and put them up somewhere. They actually gave us the diploma with our names on it from Anheuser-Busch Beer School.
I'm going to go get it. I'll show you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I was like, all right, I got a diploma. Put that on my resume next time I look for a job.
It's on my resume.
I graduated.
It's on my resume.
For real? That's awesome.
No, I'm an idiot.
Nice.
I just doxed myself. My last name was in it. But yeah, see, like on the back, it shows you how you're supposed to pour it the right way, the steps.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Nice. All right, well, you're gonna have to demonstrate. When we go to Shakespeare, you're gonna have to pull out your diploma, push him
Be
out
like,
of the
listen
way.
here, Galloway. I'm certified.
Do you have one of these? Start pouring us beers.
I asked them if they would give me
Oh no!
like a laminate with a card to put in my wallet.
Make your own.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can
I
now.
doxed myself. It's all my fault.
Yeah. Wolfmother just signed you up for WoW, so you're playing now.
Hey, as long as he pays for it, I'll play.
Oh, he paid for it with your bank account.
Oh, okay. Well, guess I got no choice now.
Hey, Miss Lightning Twirl, how are you?
Miss Melody.
We were just talking about you.
Dylan, you're tiny.
I'm tiny.
Got the full year you wanted.
There you
Yay.
go. Better start playing. You better get signed up now because it starts tomorrow.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. So like, I played Diablo with Robbie yesterday for like. Yeah, well, no, I died. I died twice, but it's fine. But Robbie's like, "Oh yeah, Classic's coming out Monday. Not streaming anymore." And then when I went into Fartnock's channel to ask him about being on the podcast, he's like, "Dude, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it because WoW's coming out Monday." And I'm like, "Jesus Christ!" So I'm like, "People, come on!" Like, and it's the same game that came out 10 years ago.
That's why it's gonna be so much fun.
Why? Like,
I gotta get into this World of Warcraft.
No, you don't. Don't fall down the rabbit hole.
3. I got in Diablo, so I might as well. I got BattleNet. It's already there.
There's a bunch of Rocksmith streamers that are playing, so you'll have a community to go with if you want to play.
Wolfmother, if you would like to link the Discord, feel free.
All the cool Rocksmith streamers are playing.
Can talk normally again. Yay.
Well, what happened?
She was kind of sick. Miss Lightning.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I never see you anymore.
Yes.
I know. Both of you always stream while I'm
Yeah.
at work.
You guys always streaming like when I'm in the bed or I'm at work. Yeah. You do.
Oh,
You're always streaming at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So's Lunchbox.
Lightning streaming like while I'm at
during
work.
the day.
No, I stream.
You always go on after I get
8,
off.
9-ish Eastern to.
No, you're later than that. You're like 9:30, 10.
I tried to get on it. I have it scheduled for 8, but I've been kind of late here the past couple weeks.
Miss Lightning wants you to zoom your camera in. You're too far away. That's what she's saying.
How do I zoom it in? I don't know how to zoom in.
There's some webcam apps that should have came with your webcam. You can zoom in that way.
Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Logitech.
I'm looking at the stream and he's in the middle and he's like a little kid compared to us. Like, it doesn't look on like our end. It doesn't look that bad, but like on the stream, he does look like a little kid.
Especially at the green screen behind him, it looks like he's sitting. He's like tiny, sitting in a really big chair.
How do I?
There you go.
Hey.
Is that better? Does that suit you, Miss Lightning Twirl?
There we go.
No more tiny pillars.
What are you chomping there, son? Pizza? You're not supposed to eat on stream. That's streamer's etiquette. Like, you're not supposed to do that.
I gotta get the Obscura. Oh.
There you go.
You need like a funky ass background. You got a green screen.
Right.
It'd be cool if you could do that with Discord. Sure you can.
Yeah, is there a way that I can like?
I mean, if I could do the voice modulation stuff with Discord, I'm sure you can do that. We're not getting into that because like I would just be an idiot and I'm not doing that. I had like way too much fun with voice mod this afternoon. I was in tears. I was laughing so hard because it's only like $13 to get the pro version with all the sounds.
There's one that goes directly into.
Oh my God, Miss Lightning. Yeah, that's the one. It's voice mod.
That's the same one. Okay.
Yeah. Like I can make myself sound like a chipmunk and all this stupid shit.
Hear it.
All right, 1 second.
Oh, I'm messing with the settings here. Let's see if I can get
So this is the chipmunk. Sound like a chipmunk. So stupid, like. But this one's probably my favorite.
It's the Totten one.
Oh,
I sound
God.
like, I sound like Thanos or some shit.
It puts the lotion on the skin. Say it.
It puts the lotion on its skin. It does what the.
See, like I'm gonna have so much fun with this shit on stream.
How?
Like,
What
oh my
is that?
god,
What is that?
it's
Give
called
me that
voice
right
mod.
now.
Voice mod. So like,
Voice
there's
mod.
some
Hold
free
on.
ones, but like you can pay $13 and get the pro version. And there's so many different
Oh
ones
my
now.
gosh, I gotta get this.
So there's a man to woman one and a woman to man.
Oh man, I'm gonna mess with some people with this.
So here's the man to woman.
Sound like your sister.
What? No, I don't. Don't say that shit.
Yeah, it's just I'm gonna have way too much fun with streams later. Like, there's so many. Like, you can do like cop radio sounds.
Nice.
I'm installing right now.
There's an auto tune one where you just like sing.
I'm gonna have to get.
See, like everybody's gonna have to get it, and then you can put all your meme sounds on your stream deck, like what I've done this entire podcast.
You have the app.
And then
You
the
have
hello,
Oh,
hello.
there's
Yeah, you
reverb.
can- yeah, it's so stupid and idiotic, but I had too much fun with this afternoon. I was cracking up.
Yeah, I think who was it? I think it was French Stallion or no, Chainbrain. I think did it too. He had some voice mods.
I think Wrath did too.
Yeah, Wrath does it too.
There you go, $13, endless hours of entertainment.
Boy,
For the
Yep.
price of Netflix, you can change your voice on stream.
I'm gonna set it up so every time Screechy talks, I'll push a button and have her sound funny, then I'll sound totally normal.
You can with so like you can set up hotkeys on your stream deck to like turn it on and off. So like you could totally hit a button and she wouldn't know it. Like she wouldn't be able to hear it.
Sound like a chipmunk.
Yeah. It's too much fun.
Oh, I have to restart the computer. I'm
No, you don't. Just say restart later. And then in your Discord, you have to change your microphone input to the one that was just installed, and then you can have a blast. Like
What?
it's just,
Something wasn't. Let me see.
but yeah, you can
Oh, okay. Here we go.
you can set up meme sounds, and then you can just like there's a link that in the app that says get your sounds here, and it's just a soundboard of nothing but memes, and then you just download them as MP3s and then set them to buttons on the stream deck. That's what I did with all the sound effects.
That's cool.
It's too easy. They're just having way too much fun with this shit.
I know you can set some of those up through Streamlabs too, but having them set up on the Stream Deck is awesome.
Yeah. Especially now that they have a stream deck that has like 30 some keys on it now. Have you seen it? It's like $250, but you get like twice as many keys. It's nuts, dude.
That's too much right now. I can barely take advantage of the one I have.
Yeah.
I think the biggest use for me is going to be outside of streaming, actually. Being able to use those like when we're transcribing stuff.
I mean, it's just basically a macro pad. You can do whatever you want with it. It's pretty cool.
Being able to like stop and start audio files and slow them down, stuff like that. Do it straight from that instead of having keyboard shortcuts will be awesome. But
I got mine last year on Black Friday. It goes pretty cheap. And then I cashed in all my Amazon rewards that I had. So I literally only paid like $20 for mine. It's worth every penny. It's a lot of fun. You can set up websites to it, sound bites, videos. It's pretty cool.
Need to do more of that. Is that how you trigger your Top Gun video?
Yeah. I just hit a key and it goes over. I'll need to send you that video, by the way.
We can throw it on there. We should need to start practicing that. Speaking of, I should have her pick a song to record ahead of time with Pillars of Ash so we can show it during the stream, even though he's not here. If you guys want to play a song together. Have her play one part, you play another part.
I was going to ask you if we could change the set list on mine. I really don't want to play Spirit or Radio first because it's kind of hard.
Yeah, we can shuffle up the.
I think I might want to do that one last after I've played a few.
I think the reason we set it up the way we did was because she's ending our set playing bass, and then she's starting yours playing bass. But I've been now thinking she might not end the set playing bass because of the song that's bid on. Might be back on guitar. But yeah, we can set it in whatever order. This makes sense to have the two bass songs back to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to be like Guns N' Roses and demand like 10,000 brown M&Ms in a brandy glass.
I need 12 California burritos in my dressing
2
room.
mojitos.
And 6 double doubles from In-N-Out. Or I'm not playing on the stream.
I don't think I could eat 6 double doubles. Like, Jesus.
I've eaten.
I don't think I could eat one.
Yeah, you can eat one. Like I've eaten
It's
2 of them.
Is that 4 patties?
No, double double would be 2 patties. It's 2 cheese, 2 patties. So you can have like.
Yeah, I could eat
double
2.
cheese.
Yeah. There's like, double doubles. There's 3x3s, 4x4s. So you can get them made.
God.
So the difference between like getting, 2 double doubles or a 4x4 is less bread, basically. So you can have them all on one.
Eagle's gonna go to In-N-Out and get diabetes,
And then we can benefit
coronary
you on the stream,
artery
too.
disease.
Is this thing working? No.
Yeah, it's working. We can hear
The
it.
police bot thing.
Yeah. See, now Pillars is in it. Now you're gonna have to get it, Ospug.
I can't hear my freaking voice. Hello.
There's a button you have to click to where you can hear yourself. That way you can hear it back in your ears.
Hello. Okay, I hear it.
I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't even have Stream Deck installed on this profile. I'll do it later.
This voice has magic.
Yeah. do tight.
Hey. And
Oh no. Look
Do
what you
Titan.
started.
Titan is the best. It's playing music.
Yeah, it's got music going with it. There you go.
oh, it's the ambient effect. Yeah, turn that off. Alright. Yeah, this one's the best. Titan's probably the best one.
Actually, I'll turn that one on for Screechy every time she talks.
What about Baby?
Oh no.
Yeah, Baby's pretty good. You sound like a legit baby. You have to pretend like you cry too, like. Oh man.
This is dangerous already.
That's the auto-tune one.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. You can sing along with songs with the auto tune on.
Just like everyone else does. It's like all pop music. That's the way it's recorded now.
The Perfection Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if you can cheat and use this with Twitch Sings.
Oh, I'm sure people have. There's no doubt in my mind.
Use auto tune and then play Twitch Sings.
Because it'll match the key as long as you're singing in the right key. You're good.
What is magic chord? Magic chord.
Oh, sounds like
What
the
is going on?
Main Street Electrical Parade.
Okay.
See, you're gonna have to get it now, Ospug. It's too
Oh,
much fun.
I'll definitely go download it once I'm on my profile here.
Share to win. Okay. Share. Win.
But like, I really only wanted it for the soundbot.
Which is still pretty. It's cool. Also, that's actually a pretty cool
Yeah.
app.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because there's just like a website with all the soundbots on it. And you can just download the MP3s.
Can you put
It's
your own
too cool.
MP3s in there?
Yep. You sure can.
That's pretty cool. Got to it. All right, guys. I'm about done here. I've been up since 3:30 this morning.
Old man's got to go to bed.
Old man's got
Oh,
one more day of
man.
work. Screechy starts school tomorrow. So,
All right.
guys, want anything last topics to talk about here before we sign off? Wanna plug your stream?
What's like some new music that
Yeah,
you guys have been listening to?
I'm basically waiting for the new Tool album. That's all I'm waiting for.
That's Friday, right?
Yep.
The new Kill Switch album's actually pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Actually, they did a good job with that. New Volbeat album was pretty good. A little more on the Billy end of it, but very good album there. What else has come out recently? There's been a few other ones that came out.
Slipknot had a new album come out.
We listened to that yesterday. That was a really well done album. The new Tool single.
I haven't heard the whole Slipknot. I played a couple of the songs. They were really.
The whoever charted the new Tool track did a really good job.
That's what you said.
I know we talked about it on the last podcast.
I have not played.
That's all I'm really looking forward to.
Nobody requested those yet. I'm kind of surprised.
Really? Because like I got it like in the last that was about a week ago. I was shocked when I saw it. I was like, "Holy shit! Like somebody's already charted this."
Yeah, it was really
perfect.
quick.
It is perfect. They nailed the tones and everything. Whoever did it was just brilliant.
I think Ginger released a new single, but I haven't listened to it.
I'm trying to think of something that's more. I've been listening to.
Alter Bridge. They released a new single, I think.
Yeah, that album comes out in like October, so.
Yeah, I really liked their last one. Show Me a Lead, or that's one song on there. Yeah, I really like Alter Bridge.
Go to. Well, you want to plug your Twitch channel so where all these people that are going to listen on YouTube can find you?
Voice effect.
Yeah, with all your cool new voice effects. You're welcome, by the way. I should get like some of that as commission.
I'll do one more shout out for Pillar.
Yeah.
I guess we'll plug our own channels. Eaglebone 23, Ghostbug.
You can follow down below on the Twitch channel. I have links set up where you can follow both of us.
We all stream Rocksmith, so definitely check that out. Great Rocksmith community. Both of you guys are just great members of that community. And then,
we're also on YouTube.
And we're on YouTube, yeah.
The link's down below.
Except for that first episode that got deleted.
Well, the first like 3 episodes. I literally just put last week's episode. So yeah, a little bit behind on that, but we're on there now. So
we're in there. We're learning as we go.
We're learning as we go.
And then I guess we should plug the charity stream coming up at in a month, right?
Yep.
27th of September. During TwitchCon, the first Friday of TwitchCon, a bunch of Rocksmith streamers are getting together and we're doing a charity stream. It's Screechy's birthday, so it's a birthday/charity stream. And we're going to be raising funds for the JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. If you don't know, Screechy is a type 1 diabetic, so it's something close to us for sure. Good organization.
Awesome.
Definitely come check it out. We're going to have, like I said, a bunch of streamers. Eaglebone will be there. Wolfmother will be there. Young Gun, Chainbrain, Magic Lunchbox will be there. Fallout's going to be there. Robbie will be there. Slurpee will be there. So good group of guys there. We might have Boom there playing a song. I'm not sure if it's coming out yet. And we're going to have some giveaways. We've got a bunch of different giveaways to give out, and we're trying to get some stuff to make a little grand prize. We want to be able to help someone get started playing and streaming Rocksmith. That's kind of the goal there. So we're definitely looking for some donations for that, and we're getting close on some stuff. Definitely come check it out. That'll be that Friday, the 27th of next month. And
yep,
love to have you
we
guys.
Hope to see you guys there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely come check it out. It should be fun songs.
Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks
Thanks
to
for coming on,
Pillars for
Pillars.
joining us. Yeah, this is a little short notice. I'm sorry about that.
A
But,
tough week.
We appreciate you coming on, man. It was a lot of fun talking to you.
Definitely go check out his stream. Great Rocksmith streamer. Does some great charting.
Twitch.tv/Pillars of Ash. Go check this guy out.
All right, thanks guys. Thanks for coming on, Pillars.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.